Hello, hello, friends. Welcome in. How are you? How are you doing today? Emmers, you're first. Runner, you were not first. You were second. But he said first. So I feel like you should get some acknowledgement. But welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing very well. I am just opening the last little things. Then I can tell you guys about the journey I've been on to try to get everything set up. Which I don't even know if it's fixed yet. So, when we switch over, please let me know if my... also, I should be actually in just chatting first. That's my bad. That's on me. Let me know if it's in sync. Let's hope it is. Let's hope it is. All right. Okay, we need this there, and I think we should be good. So. All right, welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Hello, welcome in. How's it going, my friends? How's your day going? Hope your Thursday. It's Thursday already. It feels weird because we didn't stream Monday, and then yesterday's stream got canceled. So it's a little off. By how much? Tell me. By how much? Like barely noticeable, or like it's off? Hold on. Let me double check. It's totally. This could make sense because it is a little off on testing things out on recording versus Tank. Welcome in. Interesting. Well, Tank, welcome in. Hello, friends. You may have come at a bad time because I don't know if my audio and my voice is in sync. However, regardless of if it's in sync or not, I am going to give you guys a fist bump. So hello, friends. Welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful day, Tank and friends. If you guys would like a fist bump, go ahead and punch your screen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wha-bam. The audio is synced for you. Okay. Interesting. It's like it matches my mouth. It is in sync. Wait, no. Is it? It's barely off. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's good to know. Good to know. I hope. Let's see. What if I do this? We're gonna do a blind adjustment. So I'm just gonna trust Runner, and we're gonna see. The video is about 4 behind. Wait. What have I just done? What did I just do? Hold on. I think it was at that. So the hey Tank, welcome in. Love the bow. Love your new emote. It's synced, but my video is jittery. Well, I was just changing something. I don't know if that's part of it. Slightly less than half a second behind. The video is behind. Oh no, I enjoy the raid. Thank you, Tank. It's just yesterday we were having a Yami, welcome in. Yesterday we were having a bunch of tech issues, and so I had to cancel my stream. And I thought I fixed it. So I was figuring that it was fixed by now. So it may take some adjusting right now to try to get things right. So it might not be the stream you guys are hoping for. Thank you, Yami. And hey, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it. I don't even see why didn't my notification go off? What's happening? Why is nothing working? Oh wait. Nope, that should work. Hold on. No, wait. Or did I get oops, wait. Oh, no, that was my bad. No, that was just on me. Hold on. Uh-oh, friends. I've done stuff, and I've made things worse. No, actually, it's there. Wait, I don't know. Wish you the best, but I got... Oh, no! Well, I hope she gets better. And thank you again for the raid tank. I hope your stream was wonderful. Oh, I'll do a shout-out, because I am a dummy. But I hope your stream was great. Were you playing Spider-Man? Nice. Such a great game. Okay, so is my camera also stuttering? Is that also a thing? Chat, you don't tell me these things. I hear it from one person and I'm like, has it always been happening this way? Has it been doing this for a while? Cause I don't know. I don't watch my stream. But let me see. I mean, okay, so that's there. My alert is set up. Yep. No idea why it didn't play. I don't see a stuttering. Okay, one person said my camera was stuttering. I just see the audio before the video. So we need to delay the audio just a little bit further. So we're gonna do this. All right. Yeah, everyone is experiencing this stream differently, it seems. All right. How does this look? I just made a change. How did that go? I need a timestamp clapper thing, like for movie sets. I need that so that I can we can do audio tests. It looks much better. Okay, is that good? Tell me if it shifts at all. So, I think it's fine now. Okay. Better, but still tiny off? Okay. I will just say this now. I hate all of this. I hate all of this. But hold on. Okay. I feel like right now it's manageable. I'd say audio's like 25 milliseconds in front of video. Barely noticeable if I'm looking for it. Okay, both of you guys refresh, or everyone refresh if you'd like to give me some feedback and tell me if it looks decent. If it looks, or not decent. If it looks good, I want it to look good. And if it doesn't look good, then I'll make some more adjustments. Barely noticeable. Okay. Okay. Hold on. We'll do one. I'm gonna do one more little clap. Noticeable. Okay, both of you guys refresh. I feel like I'm okay with that. Say vowels with a wide mouth. Te, ti, tai, to, tu. Did that work? I don't really enunciate. I don't what's the better word for that? I don't pronounce things. Yeah, my beard kind of hides it, which maybe it's been a problem this entire time. It's only now that we're noticing it. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, how does that look? How does it look? It's what we do on film sets to lock in AV. Nice. I've usually done, like, I don't have a clapper thing, but I'll have, like, something to make a loud noise. So that way we can, like, sync up multiple mics and stuff. But it's hard to do when, like, I don't know, it's just hard. It's hard to do. I tried even using, I was like, oh, you know what I should have been doing this entire time is I should be doing, I should change the settings of the mic to output and monitor, so that way I can hear it, but of course it doesn't delay your monitor. So it looks good right now. It's barely a blink off, but I wouldn't mess with it anymore. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I think also, I'm pretty sure, well, I went on a bit of a journey trying to figure out what was going on, because yesterday while I was streaming, and then so while I was streaming, I did notice I pulled up the stats, and I noticed that my frames per second were dropping, or FPS, as they say in the biz. And my average time to render a frame was like at 30 to 40, sometimes 50 milliseconds, which is very high. And then my frames missed due to rendering lag was at like 30 or 40%. Something like that, which is, again, very high. It should not be anywhere near that. I think it's good, but since my mind is set to looking, if something's bad right now, I can't see. That's fair. If we mess with it more, we might accidentally undo everything. It's also true. Biscuits, welcome in. How's it going? How are you today? I think and let's get your opinion on this. Do you think my mic and camera are synced up? And rendering then 50 milliseconds is massively high, and live streaming it's nothing. Yeah, so well, the thing is that I was looking at what it should be. I mean, and what it normally like has been is like pretty much like 0% is like maybe under 1%ish, depending on how long the stream has been going. Sync perfect. Okay, that's good to hear. All right, good. As the stream continues, if you guys would like to update me, please do. It helps. So I was looking at my stats from the stream, and yeah, the frames per second it was super low. Like I think it was running at like almost 20 to 25 frames per second, which is not how it should be at 30. I stream at 30. And then yeah, the render frame time was too long. And then it said like frames missed due to rendering lag. I mean, sometimes you get rendering lag if I'm like opening up an application. If I run the fist bump animation or something, there's usually a little bit of that as it's like transitioning stuff. However, it was way too high yesterday. And so then afterwards I was trying to get it fixed. And I noticed that even when I wasn't streaming, when I opened up my stats window, it was still saying the same thing, which made no sense to me. Like usually the performance is a little bit lower when I'm streaming because the computer's actually processing the stream. It's processing all the data, getting it sent to Twitch and all that stuff, so it's usually a little bit slower. But it's what the problem that I normally have is that everything looks great and everything is like the stats say it's all fine when I'm streaming, and then it's like, or when I'm not streaming, and then when I stream, that's when like the errors happen. But I was getting errors when I wasn't streaming, so I was like, what is going on? So I did a bunch of stuff, made sure everything was updated. I thought maybe I was like, what have I done in the past week that has maybe changed? And really, I hadn't added a ton of stuff to. Like, there's no new effects that we've added. In fact, I've taken away effects. And taken away some of the old backgrounds. But I was like, well, one thing that has changed is I took a bunch of pictures recently and I had moved them onto my computer, and I was like, maybe it's just that I'm low in hard drive space. So I ended up transferring, but it's not like my hard drive was low. It was just like, maybe, I don't know. It was just like, maybe it just needs more space. Like there's already a few hundred gigs of space left. Let me go ahead and just clear out more. So I cleared out a bunch more, did a test, and it was still doing the same thing. What program do you use when doing VODs off stream? What do you mean? I've noticed something similar, not AV, just quality when rendering VODs compared to live streaming. After I stream, like, what do I do with my VOD? I don't record and stream at the same time. That may be, what I do is, from the video producer part in, tab in the creator dashboard, I just transfer it straight to YouTube from there. So I don't record and stream at the same time. Yeah, so I don't download it. I instead do like export to YouTube straight from Twitch's website. So that way I was downloading stuff at the very beginning when I first started, and then I was like, oh wait, they have like an export feature. I should just use this. So I just do that. That seems to be, for me at least, the easiest thing to do. Though I still forget to do it, and I've missed a few streams, which makes me sad. But oh well. Anyway, so I cleared up a whole bunch of space, backed up a whole bunch of files, did a test, same thing, same issue. I was like, okay, maybe it's because I have Discord open. No, nothing is changing. I started closing every application I have opened, everything from Chrome to Spotify, Discord. Those are usually the things that I have open, and OBS, that's like it. Maybe a TextPad file is open, but that's it. And so I was like, well, all right. I don't know what to do here. So I think I figured out what it was, though. I think I maybe figured out what it was. I don't know what was causing this necessarily, but I went through and I just started getting rid of some old stuff that, every once in a while I'll drag like a screenshot up on the screen and it'll do a thing. I got rid of anything extra just because I was like, let's just clear up, that way I can see everything better. Deleting most of those pictures did nothing. I also, again, through all these changes, looking at the stats, nothing really changed as I was closing things, which didn't make sense to me. I was like, surely, if I closed out Chrome, which is, according to my, activity monitor on the Mac, which shows you, CPU usage of different apps, Chrome is, the highest thing on here besides OBS. And so I was like, all right, let's double check. And anyway, long story short, I think I figured out what it was. So at some point, and I don't remember what we were playing, what we were doing. But at some point when in our game screen, when I'm actually playing the game, I had brought in 2 different display sources. I'm trying to figure out why I did that. I don't remember why I have 2 different display sources, like my desktop display. Why I had 2 of them? Why I didn't just have one or the other? Anyway. I had 2 there that had been hidden, they weren't displaying, they were invisible or whatever. I got rid of those, and immediately it cleared up. My FPS went up. The average time to render frames dropped, which is good. Frames missed during rendering lag was much better. It was a noticeable improvement. And so I did a test because I was like, oh, maybe what's happening is every time I display my desktop, maybe that's what's causing these errors. Like maybe that's what's throwing it off. The answer to that is it doesn't seem to be that way. So I did a few more tests where I displayed my desktop, and I did everything from I played YouTube videos, I played like other stuff that seemed more graphically intensive, was moving the window around, trying to see if I can make it difficult for like rendering, I guess. Nothing changed, actually. Like, once it was good, and once I had already deleted those old, desktop displays, performance was great. So, I don't know if there was a bug for, like, maybe the fact that I had left those there hidden, closed out OBS, and then just had, like, left it there for so long. Like, maybe... I don't like, maybe Twitch or maybe OBS isn't like that. Maybe it doesn't like you to do that. Though I have like other, I don't know. I have other scenes where I have displays already set up, so I don't know what it wants from me. But getting rid of those, immediate improvement. And like right now, it says I'm at 30 frames per second. Average time to render frame fluctuates from, looks like 6 to 11 milliseconds. And then there are some frames missed due to rendering lag, but it's 0.5. Whereas yesterday was like at 40%. And so, anyway, I think 0.5 is pretty negligible. 291 frames out of 55,000, so not so bad. Anyway, all that to say, I think it's all fixed, and I'm glad that we were at least able to mess with the audio. I was able to also adjust, I actually adjusted the desktop audio as well, so now it's actually synced to what I'm hearing for you guys. Before it wasn't that. It'd be like, I would say, oh, I love this part. It'd be playing like a completely different part for you guys. But I believe I fixed that now. It should be like synced up. So anyway, now that I have bored everyone with my tech support, that's what's been going on. So I think we have everything fixed, which is great. Otherwise, I would have been super sad today. Because, yeah, it's so, you guys know, especially the streamers out there, but everyone has experienced tech issues before. It's so annoying when it happens. So anyway, should be fixed. If not, as the stream goes on, feel free to tell me, hey Jet, your audio's out of sync again, and it's pretty noticeable. Because then we can try to see if I've got the Jet IT support, $500 an hour. Perfect. Oh boy. I've got the stats window open, so I've got my eye on that just to double check and see like when I see it drop or if I see it drop. Oh, I will say everything. So when it gets to like a bad level, the FPS average time, frames missed, turn different colors. I think at normal it's white, and then it goes to yellow, and then red. Yesterday, all three of those were red. So I don't know. But fun stuff, my friends. Fun stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been going on besides that, but that's been like my main priority. But I think that's pretty much it. I did think of there's this great clip from 30 Rock where Tina Fey, Liz Lemon, she's having a lot of trouble at work. Like, everyone's giving her problems, and she's just super frustrated, and she wants a new beginning. And she ends up having jury duty, and she's a juror in a trial for an arson case. And the suspect is on the stand and confesses to the arson in a very, like, grand way of being just like, something like, I knew things could only change within a cleansing fire. And I would rise from the ashes like a phoenix. And that's how I feel. I feel like had it not fixed today, I would have been like, cool. We're gonna burn everything down. I'll take my pay in the form of 100 subs. Okay, thanks. Uh-oh. Best I can do is 100 bits, runner. But also, by the way, today, I posted this in the Discord, under general. But I, sold. Perfect. You drive a hard bargain. Yesterday I also noticed my green screen needs like a smidge of an adjustment. I can see like a light. This is gonna like explode. It's gonna be like, oh no, this was the problem. Hold on. Okay, I think it's actually fixed. I just kind of touched it and it looks better, I think. I'll figure out this color thing later. It bothers me. I don't know what's up with. I'm so blue. The colors are so cool. Anyway, so I started the day by. Do you guys know what Wattpad is? Wattpad is like a Wattpad is like a fan fiction sort of website. I think it's like mostly. It's like I think it's mostly fan fiction, but it ends up being more. I think it's supposed to be like custom. Not custom, like stories people write, prose, but a lot of it ends up being fan fiction, and you can find literally fan fiction on anything. I think it's a very like probably the average age of not costume. There we go. Probably the average age of the user is like, I don't know, 12. All of the fan fictions are about One Direction, in the Purge universe for some reason, or whatever. But anyway, I found one that was so funny to me, and I posted a screen capture of it in the Discord, but I'll post it, or I'll show it here and read it to you guys because I laughed at this so much. The setup for this is that the main character's a girl, and she goes to high school, or she's in class. I think she's in high school. The teacher gets mad at her for something and tells her to go sit next to the mysterious new boy. The teacher's words. And she sits by the guy, and he says, one of the first things he says is that he's British. And she's just like, oh, okay. And so then this is like a little bit after that, but this is the conversation, and it made me laugh so much. But he says, or it's cool, he said, I'm British. I gave him a sideways glance. I'm pretty sure we already covered this. No, the boy said, my name is British. British Lachowski. I was born in Warsaw. That's a nice name, I said, by way of explaining that I had no idea what he was talking about. Clearly, like a large number of teenage protagonists in teen fiction, I am brick stupid. I grew up in Poland, he said proudly. I have no idea what that means. Poland, British said. What's Poland? He frowned. It's a country. When he eventually realized that I neither knew nor cared what on earth he was going on about, he just gazed sullenly into the distance and whispered, I'm a vampire. I I love that so much. I like that he just resigns to I don't know, brooding, I suppose. And it's just I'm a vampire. I don't know. It made me laugh so much. It's so weird. I don't know if I could get away with calling one of my high school students Mysterious New Boy. I think, to be fair, I don't think most people could. I think a lot of this story is playing on the parodies of most Wattpad fiction, and how it's always like just so cliche, and it's basically like everyone rewrites Twilight. Is basically what happens. Or it's about being kidnapped by One Direction in the Purge universe. There's there's multiple stories, like by different people, by different authors, all of which the subject is we're in the Purge universe and we need to survive, but also I'm being kidnapped by One Direction. So that is to say that perhaps the quality of storytelling on Wattpad is like maybe a little iffy sometimes. Not saying all of it is bad. I think technically, well, I don't know. I think so. Like apparently the premise behind Wattpad, because I think it's owned by some publishing company, was supposed to be that once a year or something, the highest voted stories would be like published or something like that. And I think they eventually just stopped that because they were like, no, this is all terrible. We can't do this. All right, class, we have a transfer from Valley View High School. He's a mysterious new boy. Also, ask him about his name later. Okay, chapter 7. I'm British. Yeah, I thought we covered that. No, my name is British. British Lechowski. I'm from Poland. What's Poland? It just is, I don't know. I'm fairly certain that the writer of this one is clearly trying to be mysterious new girl. My name is Polish, but I'm from England. Stop. It's so good. I think that the author of this one is purposely trying to be a little ridiculous, but like the describing the character, because this is somewhat common from what I've noticed in Wattpad. But as a protagonist, our main character, we don't know if she's a protagonist at this point. She could be an antagonist, or an anti-hero. Hey Nikolai, welcome back. How are you doing? She starts off by like being just the worst. Just being the stereotypical kind of like protagonist. So I think they know. You're broke now. Oh no. What has happened? I hope things are all right. Things were going pretty good here, despite our technical issues. Hopefully good. But anyway, yeah, things have been going good. We're actually in the middle of a game. We're gonna, we will be switching over to that. I'm actually pretty excited to, switch back to that. I donate $1,200 to a charity stream going to St. Jude. That's awesome. Love St. Jude. St. Jude's great. I have friends who've worked there. That's awesome. A great cause. Also, are we in focus? Are we not in focus? Can't tell. Slowly, slowly, more in focus, more in focus. Less in focus. Less in focus. Yes, it's looking good. It looks great. It looks great. looks perfect. Okay, hold on. And slowly turn the dial back. I don't have it on autofocus because I don't want it shifting around too much. I think that's pretty good now. Ish. I think that's good. I was looking at my eye, and I think the eye is sharp, which is what I care about. Let's see. Let me just adjust my eyeballs now. Great. Just kind of squint, or if you can do the thing where like, can you guys blur your own eyes? I can. Just do that. Just blur your own eyesight, and it'll look great. Cross your eyes, and can you guys do magic eyes? I used to do those all the time when I was a kid. I had like the magic eye book series where like it's all those like weird patterns, you know, and then you like do like your eyes kind of cross a little bit and it shows a picture. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I used to love those things. I found a subreddit where people like still make them. Like creating tension by looking past something and looking into nothing. Yeah, kind of. I can like, even without like doing anything, like I don't require moving, like I can just blur my eyesight. I think the magic eye books, if you guys ever use it, one of the easy techniques is if you put the book to your face and then like slowly like bring it back, it'll sort of like your eyes will kind of shift into place, and you'll find like what distance the book needs to be for you so that you can like do that stuff. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Magic eye. Magic eye. I remember when it was a thing to have those posters that hit. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. What's this one? That's not interesting. So, like, I can do it without... Like, I can now just set my eyes right. So, like, here's one. I'm that practiced. It's a skill, everyone. It's a skill. All right. Here's one. So like, okay, I'm looking right now I'm looking at it normal. And if I do this, I can see it now. I don't know if my eyes look any different. Probably not, because I'm also not looking at the camera. But, I wonder if I move OBS this way. There you go. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But, like, this is normal. And then this is, I can see the hidden image. Do you guys see what it is? Do you know what it is? I wonder if it can even work on like mobile and compressed. But it's, well, I'll see if anybody tells me. If you can figure it out. I'll leave it on the screen for 10 more seconds. And I wish I could show you guys like what it actually looked like, but I can't. You just have to trust me. Okay, time's up. It was like a, two baseball players, one sliding into home. The other one is like about to like tag him out. Is it a line of people? Mm-mm. It's two people, and they're pretty large. But I got like super good at it. I kind of saw people. Nice. Yeah. that's when I was little, I basically just did Magic Eye all the time. I just kept going through the books, and I would be like, ooh, it's so cool. It's like a little hidden picture, I guess. But now people actually, there are generators where you can make your own. I think you just have to have some kind of you have to draw it out first, and you have to use, I don't actually even know how they do that. But they'll take a kind of like a grayscaled image, where I think it's mostly gray and then black. And I think you can use some other grays, I think, in it to add some depth. But it's mostly very simple colors. And then you put that into a generator, and then you can tell it what kind of pattern you want, I think. And it'll kind of put it together.
Twitch baby.
Azure! Twitch baby. Azure, 9 months. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I'm glad it's on a day like today when we've somewhat fixed the stream. I'm looking for the hidden answer. Math teacher, no. Jet, just solve the equation. I see it now. If I take pi and I do my eyes like this, I see everything. I see it all. Thank you for that lurk, Azure. No, I used to do a magic eye all the time. Secret, welcome in. How are you? I can imagine Jet at the front, the board in front of class, just shouting all of this. They're like, uh-oh. And now you guys understand what I mean when I say I was really bad at math in high school. I took a more abstract approach to math, and they didn't seem to appreciate that. New desk chairs? No way. Let us know what kind of chairs you got. I need a new chair. I meant to check, actually. I meant to check, Craigslist and stuff to see if people have listed any in the case they got some for, in case anybody got, a desk chair for Christmas. I need to see if anyone's put one for sale. Because that'd be wonderful. Is that what Santa gave you? Desk chairs? I got socks. That's amazing. They're hard to get. Desk chairs are hard to get down the chimney. So props to Santa. Secret and Runner got their gifts today and are keeping it a secret until you get yours. Yay, thank you. No spoilsies. No backseating my gifts. And actually it works out. I have to go to the post office tomorrow anyways. Seems that Balto sent me something. And they failed to deliver it today. So I have to go there anyway tomorrow. So it was like perfect timing. The saga of my post office not delivering my mail to me continues, but at least it works out this time. Let's make a gift spoilers channel in the Discord and not invite Jet. Fair. Package opened ingredients stream tomorrow. Ingredients. Package opened on stream tomorrow. Is that just what it's supposed to be? Because the answer is yes. I'll open it on stream tomorrow. Wow, tablet. 1 second. Uh-oh. Emmers is punishing her tablet? Wait, yeah. Am I cooking something tomorrow? Is that what's happening? We got you a cake, but it's deconstructed. So it's just flour, eggs. Package opening stream tomorrow. Yes. Yes, Emmers. On stream, I will open up the package. Yes. Is it? Wrong thing. Hold on. I have the same delivery app on my computer and on my phone, but they don't sync anymore because they started asking you to pay. And I said, not today. Not today, my friends. Okay. Yeah, it says it's on time. It says it's in transit, so hopefully it gets to where it's supposed to be. Supposedly, actually, hopefully it's not delayed, Emmers. Because I know a lot of packages go through Federal Way, Washington, which is near Seattle. And currently, I've heard that Seattle's airport is completely frozen over. And so they've canceled all flights for like an undetermined amount of time. I don't know if Federal Way would be also affected by this. It's not, they're not the exact same weather, so maybe it's a little different, but hopefully not. It says in transit. I don't see a delay or anything on there, so hopefully it's fine. Why was Jet looking up at the sun? Is that right? Nope. There's a delay on my camera, so I don't... Yeah, up there. There we go. It's hard getting this in sync with everything. And even, like... I wonder if there's a way to change... Like, when I tell something to change to the next scene, if there was, like, a delay. It'd be nice to do that. Anyway. So that it matches my camera and stuff. Just get Chomper and Stilton and go get the mail yourself. I am about to go do that. Stilton is the best doggo. And we will be playing more of that. We're going to just focus on the Hercule Poirot for a bit, though. I'm enjoying the game. I was sad we didn't get to play yesterday. I will say I kind of forgot what happens at the very, very end. Like, we get a letter from, and I'm forgetting her name. I think it started with an A, or has an A in it. We get a letter from her, and she's like, hey, you taught me so much when I like kind of faked my bracelet being stolen. I think she's getting married. I think this is a setup. I think she's getting married and wanted all of the like influential people in her life. So like her family's there. There's like other people there. I think that's what it is, but Agatha, I don't think that's it now. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I think that was the setup. I don't think there's some. Oh wait, yes, Emmers, you're right. Somebody is blackmailing her, and she's like, my guess is that one of these people is the blackmailer. That's what it is. Yes. But I think she is getting married, right? There's also, like, that's kind of the cover. Well, not the cover. She is getting married, but it's like, all these people are invited. They're all important people that have been around. Though I think one of them is the blackmailer. So hopefully you can figure that out. I think, yeah. Thank you, Emmers. That's what it is. I was like, there is something missing. Celebrating her engagement. Yes. Okay. Yes. It should be fun. Should be interesting. I'm curious. I'm enjoying the game. Joe Gate yesterday asked if it's better than the first game, and it's so far it's like kind of a hard thing to answer, I think, because I really enjoyed in the first game. I enjoyed when you were interrogating people that it would pop up with those words that are like give you kind of clues into how they are saying something, like. This person is, answered in this way, but they're hiding something, or they're reserved about this, or it flustered them, or whatever. I liked that a lot. It's more about like reading people. This is a bit more straightforward, especially now that I will say this is at least a good quality of life update. I like that when you have to respond, it gives you what emotion you're conveying or like what your intention is in the statement, whether you're trying to be blunt or whether you're trying to be sympathetic to them or whatever. I like that. I think in the first game there were times where I would select something thinking that it was maybe going to be said a different way, and then I would just make somebody mad. So that's a good quality of life update. I don't know if I like the the portraits, like the art style. The art is good. I don't know if I like that over how they set up, how if you were talking to somebody, it was like close-ups of them because you were reading their face and stuff. I thought that part was super cool in the first one. But I would say generally the graphics are better in this game. Seems to run smoothly. Mind map gave me a bunch of trouble last time, but I think maybe I'm used to it now. We'll see. We'll see how today goes. I could be wrong. But anyway, should be a good time. My thought was we were going to be done with it by now. And it's not a super long game, but because of canceling streams and stuff, makes me sad. By the way, next Friday, is that right? Next Friday. Yeah, next Friday's my birthday. So we're going to be doing a birthday stream. I don't know what we're going to be doing yet. But it's going to be my birthday. So we'll do a thing. Maybe I'll try to get some pizzas. And no idea what else. I don't know what game we're going to play. I've had a couple of ideas going from maybe doing like a retro game to like a nostalgia retro game for me. We'd obviously play some Animal Crossing so that I can do my birthday thing again. But yeah, I don't know. So, if you guys have any ideas, give it, maybe throw it in the Discord or something. I'm going to start getting the game together. And I think we're actually, it's already ready already. So let's go ahead and switch on over. All right. We can mute that. Bring this back. Okay. All right. So, like we were just discussing, let me go ahead and change the category. Right. We are being invited to like some kind of engagement party by someone that we were involved in a case some years ago where a bracelet was allegedly stolen. It turned out that the person who actually owned the bracelet was this daughter who was afraid that her mom was going to sell the bracelet, so she hid it, claimed that it was stolen, and there was kind of an ordeal there. The mom didn't like us. We uncovered the truth, but she didn't believe us. She brought in another police guy to kind of sort things out, but I think it kind of brushed over the fact later that we were able to, like, the truth finally came out, I think. And then we basically also, I think at that time, kind of confronted the girl, being like, wow, you're being really inconsiderate because you're letting your housemaid take the fall for this and potentially get arrested and like all this other stuff while you're just being very selfish, despite your motivations maybe. So we get a letter. She invites us to her engagement thing. She says that she's grown a lot since then, and she's like sorry for what happened back then, but that through that experience, she kind of changed. And her family's being blackmailed, or I think it's her family's being blackmailed. Maybe she's being blackmailed. I don't know. We'll probably get more details, but there's some blackmailing going on. And, whatchamacallit? And she's asked us, because she knows that we are competent, she's asked us to, help, it's try to figure out who's maybe involved. She thinks it's somebody who's close to the family, so we'll get some more info. I don't know if it'll re-explain that part or not, but we'll kind of see where it saved us. Chapter 1. We just did the prologue last time. Okay, yeah. So it already did the, intro to this thing, but hold on. Angeline! That's her name. You see, I knew it started with an A. Let's see. I'm sure this is updated. Angeline Vandenbosch. Although she may only be young, it is obvious she has a mind of her own and is not afraid to speak it. Her life of wealth and worry for nothing has given her a sense of entitlement that I hope will not impede my investigation. Cassandra, that's her mom. Madame Vandenbosch, lady of the house, abrupt and snobbish. She is hesitant to help me in my investigation. Okay, so this is actually not updated. This is from before. She is desperate for money, is widowed. Gizmo! Welcome in. You mean Karen. Karen Vandenbosch. And then there's Elizabeth. I don't think she's here, so we won't go over this. I mean, I could be wrong. But blackmail. Gizmo, how are you? How's your day? The Vandenbosch family are being blackmailed. I must help Mademoiselle Angeline get to the bottom of this case. Oh, I wonder. Hold on. Options. Oh, no. Okay. Maybe if I was in the... Hold on. Let's just see main menu. We haven't done anything. So far, so good. I think the stream is synced. We were... Oh, how many chapters? Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, I see. I was hoping there was going to be maybe like a thing where you could replay.
Detective Poirot, I trust this finds.
Oh, this is it.
It has been many years since our paths last crossed, and while I'm sure your recollection of the events may differ from mine, I hope that receiving this letter has not rekindled a sense of animosity toward myself or the Vandenbosch name. The impression you made is something that has stayed with me since that day. It compelled me to reconsider the spoilt young lady I would have inevitably become and helped shape me into the woman I wished to be. You made me see the childish and selfish girl in me that did not consider the consequences of her actions or how they may affect others. Although Maman may see the events of that day differently, I believe the compassion you showed for our mate Florette, as well as the drive to uncover the truth and accept no alternative, was a testament to your character and professionalism. Although I wish it were under different circumstances, your assistance is once again required, and I hope you will consider this as my formal request for your service. This forthcoming weekend was due to be one full of joy and happiness at the announcement of my engagement to Gideon Demire, whom I love dearly, bringing together two illustrious families, but it has been shadowed by deceit, extortion, and blackmail. The Vandenbosch name is being held to ransom by a mysterious party, and I am afraid I do not know who I can and cannot trust. We are holding a small gathering to celebrate our exciting news with what Maman calls the dignified elite, those that are well respected and held in high regard in both our close inner circle and society. Our private matters have always remained just that, so I fear one of those invited may be the person who is out to ruin our name, but for reasons I cannot fathom. I have enclosed a first-class rail ticket for you to join us for the announcement, and having contacted your superiors and the correct authorities to request your assistance, which they were more than happy to grant me, I shall expect your arrival with great anticipation. There shall be a carriage waiting for you at the station to bring you directly to Mnemosyne House. I thank you in advance in our time of crisis. Yours respectfully, Angeline van der Bosch.
Okay, so that is the setup for the case that now we're on. So I'm kind of excited to see kind of how this unfolds. But Gizmo, welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully our audio and video is still in sync. Nobody has told me otherwise. But we did a few more adjustments. I think I fixed it from earlier, from yesterday. So I think everything's good. Looking good. Good. Thank you. If you guys see it change, let me know. I don't think we're going to have the fluctuating problem anymore, but it could be wrong. Also just yeeted my controller. All right. Let me just clear this again. There's a bunch of stuff we have to do. So many things. Oh, it looks like they are involved. Okay, so everyone is here from the case from before, except for one person, right? No, maybe not. Maybe that is it. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, let's see. This is basically Alaska, by the way. Oh, are you playing Tangle Tower today, Gizmo? Our buddy Gizmo? Okay, just gotta check the perimeter. Yay! Nice. Very exciting. I like the crunch of snow. Good job on the sound design. Okay, that's not ours. Or nothing we need to deal with that. Very snowy here. All right. Knock on door. A moment longer in this weather, and my fingers would have become too cold to even knock the door.
Bonjour. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am here at the invitation of Mademoiselle Angeline.
Ah, Detective Poirot. We have been expecting you. Please come in from this frightful cold.
Is he Scottish? It sounded like a Scottish accent, maybe.
Merci. I don't think I would have lasted much longer out here before turning into an icicle.
Welcome. I am Archibald Sterling, the head butler. Please accept my apologies. I have a rather pressing matter, but I will see that you are attended to immediately.
Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. I am sure I am more than capable of finding my room. I shall straighten myself up and be ready to join the party.
I don't know if the eyes are any less scary this time. Like, if you look at Archibald's eyes, they're kind of different. But I think they're less noticeable because they're not focused on the face anymore in terms of camera angles.
Detective. Dinner will not be served for some time, so please, make yourself comfortable. Once you have settled in, I am sure that Miss Angeline will be happy to see you. She has been eager for your arrival. She's not been herself recently.
Yes.
You will be staying on the first floor. I believe your room is one of the two on the west
How does that
side
sound?
of the house.
Even louder?
Merci. I am sure we shall speak again soon.
If it needs, there's still room for it to go up. So if it needs to go up higher, let me know. Locate your room and get settled into your surroundings. It is time to make myself comfortable. I should begin with finding my room and straightening myself up before the party begins. No links. All right. Staff is very busy. Archibald is stressed. Is it Archibald or Archibald? Room assigned. First floor, west wing.
Oh.
Tonight's arrivals have written a small sign message. The male guests are based in the east wing. I kind of want to... Well, maybe I'll mess with that later. Alright. Who are you?
Bonjour.
Zacharia?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Zacharia?
I am Detective Hercule Poirot.
Lucario?
Detective, I hope you're not here for me.
Not that I am aware of. Should I be?
Ha! Not often you meet a detective with a sense of humor. I'm Zakaria Demir, but you can call me Zach.
You can tell he's shifty because his portrait has him facing away from you. Judging by the smell of alcohol, I would say he had begun the celebrations already and is likely to be this friendly with everyone. I understand the staff are busy, but I was hoping I could find someone to assist me. Have you had a chance to congratulate
If I had seen
the happy
them,
couple last
maybe
night?
I would have. It is meant to be their celebration, but they're always off, dealing with something or other.
Something or other? A rather vague expression.
Let's just say they like to keep their cards close to their chest. For such a well-known family, I'm surprised they can keep anything hidden.
Would you care to elaborate on what Mademoiselle may be hiding?
I'd rather not. You're the detective, isn't that your job?
Très bien, Monsieur Demir.
Perhaps I should keep my occupation and reason for being here to myself, for now at least. I fear it may derail
You'll
my
be
initial
lucky.
introductions.
I've been waiting for refill for ages. I came out here to find someone myself.
Ah, I see. The preparations for this evening's dinner must have taken precedence.
I've seen that butler running around like a madman, but there is still no party to speak of. It's pretty clear they need to hire a few more hands.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
Okay.
Huh.
I imagine this is used by Archibald. I very much doubt Maman would use it. Mammon. I can hear bottles clanging and moving furniture. I presume this is the salon. The door is locked. Okay. I presume this leads to the dining room. I'm sure there will be a grand reveal when all are present. Ooh. An interesting looking piece of stationery. It appears rather delicate. Okay, quill pen.
Aha.
A roaring fire. I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. It looks quite valuable and delicate. I shall resist the temptation to expect it any further. What is this? Oh, just a okay. Doesn't really tell us. Piano. The chance to play is very tempting, but I shall save myself the embarrassment.
Huh.
Madame Van den Bosch has always been one for appearances. Why would the family want to keep a price tag on the vase? not selling stuff again, are they? This area does not pertain to my current investigation. All right.
Oh.
A portrait of a distinguished-looking gentleman. He doesn't appear to be related to the family. Like, this interior is much better than the last game. And I will say, so far, the character designs are much better. And, like, much cooler. Like, Poirot looks kind of dope, to be honest. I like his, is that maybe a vest? Maybe it's an undercoat or something? I don't know. I think it looks pretty dope. But they all have, like, colors. Like, he's yellow. Archibald was green. It's kind of Clue-ish, I suppose. And then, Zach kind of had, like, a purple thing going. But, like, and what is her name? Angeline is, like, red. Like, they all have, I don't know. They have, all their clothes look super cool. Looks a lot better than it did in, the last game. Maybe I should actually read this description. He is friendly and full of life. I imagine he would feel comfortable as the center of attention with all eyes in the room on him. It's obvious that he enjoys a drink or two, but what harm is there in that at a celebration such as this? What do you have to say about Archibald? A friendly, well-experienced butler who has been with the Vanden Bosch family for several years. He takes pride in his work, his appearance, and the house. He considers himself the father figure to the other younger staff of the house, and I believe he would do anything for them. Excuse me. Okay. And apparently he is stressed. To show wealth, that is also true. I'm curious how they solved their money troubles. Because they were having money troubles at the end of the prologue still. I wonder what has happened kind of in that meantime. Hear music. A letter. An auctioneer's receipt. I hope Madame Vanden Bosch isn't finding it necessary to sell her belongings. Master auctioneer and valuer. Receipt for sale of an oil painting, gold-flaked frame, chipped, marble bust, totaling 650 francs. Is that what it is? Handling fee, 600. Made payable to C. Vanden Bosch. We have 2 links. Very few staff working.
Come, my little grey cells.
Come, my little grey cells. Welcome back. Welcome book. Locked dining room door. I doubt that's like a connection. Locked salon. Okay. Did
I
do
must
this
take
one?
a
No,
different
I did,
approach if I am to uncover the truth.
Okay. All right. Maybe we don't. I mean, maybe we don't have the thing. Maybe it's. Maybe we don't have. Because I did this and that one. Archibald is stressed.
What a revelation!
Like this is the connection. Oh, okay. All right. A butler would usually escort me to my room, but on this occasion I must find my own way. Archibald stressed due to lack of staff. Zach says family holds a few secrets. I'm back. Welcome back, Runner. We've started the case. And nothing has really happened yet. But we met a butler. We met a guy named Zach. And we've kind of walked around the house. What are your dogs doing? The family holds a few secrets. What would be another connection? Locked dining room. Welcome book. Tonight's arrivals have written a small signed message. The male guests are based in the East Wing.
must act on thought.
Yeah.
I cannot see the logic in this. Order
This
and
isn't
method.
connected, right?
That is the way.
Nope. Oh. I suppose that makes sense. I just don't know what we're gonna deduce. I just assume the fact that the doors are locked is because it's just not ready yet. The bird population extinct again? Wait, they're at my parents' place. My mom calls me that Aurora ate another of her chicken's eggs, and then Athena got another bird. Oh my gosh. Your dogs and birds, runner. All birds should be fearful. These must be the rooms for tonight's events. They must be locked for a good reason. Yeah, like, we don't need to come up with a deduction for that. Like, and is this connected? No.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Okay, I will say I have noticed. I doubt Madame's standards have dropped. The staff must be working hard to finalize preparations. So I have noticed that when doing the mind map, just in case somebody plays this game, I've noticed that most of the connections, the lines you make are usually pretty simple. Like, it doesn't get too crossed over and complicated. So like, the reason why I thought these were connected mostly was because there was a direct like path to each of those. And like this one and this one were connected. So like you can kind of meta that. Staff is too busy to assist. Yeah. Okay, you just said that. All right. So we've caught up on all of that. We look dope in our coat. A plant. Plants lean and rely on each other to survive, something we as a species could take a lesson from. It's very thoughtful of you.
Oh.
I am not sure how I would fare coming face to face with such beasts. The mounted animal head. The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece. It is an art form. Okay, let's to the southeast quarter. Okay. Can't explore the house yet.
Aha.
But just double checking. No? Okay. He's got some fancy red shoes on. Very bold. This door does not seem fitting of a bedroom. Something far grander resides in it. It does. These floorboards are creaky. A painting of the sun rising over a town. Sadly, it appears to have some water damage. Oh, it does. I just realized, yeah, that is quite a bit of water damage, actually, on that painting. It almost looks like a watercolor now. Is this my room? I was hoping to explore a bit more. Yeah, seriously. Looks like this is my room. Maybe. A selection of perfume. Compliments of the family. Seems rather fitting for a female occupant. Did they leave me some cologne as well? Oh, maybe this isn't. This is like another guest room? A roaring fire. I could stand and gaze into the flames for hours. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house.
Oh.
Understandable to hide a woman's modesty while changing. Okay. Okay, not my room. Alright, that's fine. I love mystery games. I love these games so much. I want more of them. Just all of them.
Oh.
A beautifully composed painting of 7 saints. Madame has quite an eye for striking artwork. I wonder if we'll have to come to this. I will say, it does look like they're sitting on a... Or, like... I don't know. Maybe nothing. Never mind. I'll keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear music from inside. Also, each of the doors has, like, a different one of those saints. And I'm curious... We'll probably have to, like, sort through some of this. I can hear music from inside. This room must already have resident. Perhaps others have arrived before me? Not going inside. Okay. A painting of a valley with a series of beautiful cliffs. The scenery is truly breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking. I cannot see Madame allowing me to stay on the top floor. I'm not sure I would want to either. Okay. So maybe that... Was that room that I walked into mine? Might be. Talk to Angeline. Is that what this says? If I click on this... Oh, expand evidence? Nope. Is there... Oh, there's a zoom. Okay. We'll talk to Angeline. So that's one thing we need to do. We also have one more connection. Audible music. The changing screen. Perfume bottles. Like, is this connected?
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
It appears as though I am staying in a very feminine room. Perhaps there has been some confusion? Room prepared... Oh, that's interesting. It appears as though I'm staying in a very feminine room. Perhaps there was some confusion. Like, there was... Maybe we took someone's place. You're breathtaking! Maybe we took some... Yeah, maybe there was somebody else who was supposed to be here, and we're instead...
Things are beginning to become clearer.
Archibald is clearly flustered with his tasks. It appears he has sent me to the wrong room. Oh, maybe that's just it. I've been sent to the wrong room. Inspect the bedroom. Okay. I mean, I guess that's probably a more logical conclusion besides possible a missing person or see. Yeah, hold on. The saints are different on these. So yeah, we'll have to come to this. I'm sure there's going to be a thing. There's going to be a thing, everybody. We'll come back to this. I've only done a murder mystery once before, like a murder mystery dinner party, and I ended up being the killer, and I got away with it. It was very fun. I can't remember what. Oh, it was like. I think the setup was. Oh man, I can't remember what my character's name was. But I was a pop star or something. Like, I was in a boy band. And I think it was something like somebody else from that boy band died. And my character wanted to kill them because he wanted to go solo or something, and I was like, no, but like we need to stick together. It was like that kind of thing. And then he was like, no, I'm going solo, and I think my character kills him because of that. But it was a lot of fun because it was like, if you guys haven't participated in a murder mystery like dinner, we were at somebody's house, and there were clues that you could find. We spent the first half jet sync. Exactly. 98 jet grease. It doesn't work. But there are clues, and then you would. So like the first part of the dinner was like, you're just talking and it's like LARPing, basically. You're just talking like your characters and walking around and meeting everyone, getting to say hello to everybody and kind of learning all the characters. And then, what's funny is I would have loved to have been the detective, but I ended up being the murderer. Because I would love to figure this stuff out. But, but you walk around, and then eventually, like, one of the characters dies. Well, the way we had it, maybe this is a common thing, the person who died became the detective. So that way they're just not sitting out the entire, like, dinner party. But then you can find clues. You also give, like, at a certain point you get tasks. That's like, you need to talk to this person and you need to bring up this. And then you might have a thing on your paper that's like, if somebody talks to you about this, you need to get upset about it. Like, you don't like talking about that. So it's like it was like really cool. It was a lot of fun. Maybe at some point post COVID, if you haven't participated in one, maybe you'll be able to, because it's fun. There's no tag, but must belong to one of the guests. What else is here? There's not just seem to be anything of interest in here. Selection of... Okay, yeah, we looked at that. I will say, I was almost found out. Like, the detective almost didn't believe me. But I was able to... I don't even remember what my argument was, but I was able to, like... at least convince enough people... I was able to convince enough people that it wasn't me. Which is all you gotta do, I guess. Inspect the bedroom. Yeah, it's... Okay, anything else that needs inspection? Oh, pillow. A card is hidden under the pillow. It indicates Hugo would like Mrs. Conrad to speak with him ASAP. It appears Monsieur Sterling has given me the wrong room. This one has been made up for a Jacqueline Conrad. No matter, I shall find ma chambre myself. Ma chambre. I don't know how would you'd say that. My chambre. Okay, we can unlock a new conversation. Ma chambre. It's March-ember. It's the new month. Yeah, that's right. Disco Elysium also takes place in a, like, French kind of inspired, I think. I think it's very French inspired. So there's, like, a lot of cool names for things. Revachol is where it takes place. Who are you, sir?
You must be Detective Poirot. Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself.
The
Gideon Demir.
fiancé. Gideon Demir.
Fiancé to Mademoiselle Angeline. The pleasure is all mine.
Angeline spoke so highly of you. It sounds as though you are the man that can sort this terrible mess out.
I am, monsieur.
You
have
know
my
about
word.
it. The guests that are attending your announcement, has Mademoiselle Angeline been... How has
Mostly
she been
friends
since
of the
receiving
family.
the letters?
A couple of business associates of mine. Quite a mix from all walks of life.
With regards to the blackmailing, can they be trusted, or should they be considered suspects?
Angeline is struggling to trust anyone right now. But Madame Vandenbosch, as it is her house, thought it was best for us to have them all present.
And they will all be staying in the house?
Yes, it is a rather full house. All 6 guests will be staying on this floor. The family resides on the 2nd floor. as does Felix.
I will be sure to speak with them all. However, I will keep my identity and purpose for being here hidden, at least until I have made my initial introductions.
Who's Felix? Why did he say
I'm
it like
afraid
that?
that ship may have already sailed. Once the Comtesse gets wind of something, a detective coming to the house, for example, you can bet everyone will know.
How has Mademoiselle Angeline been since receiving the
She
letters?
tries her best to keep everyone else happy, but I can see it is taking its toll.
Quite understandable. She is feeling the burden of the family that is not hers to carry.
Angeline has spoken with her mother. She has asked if there is anything that could be used against her, but she was just so dismissive.
And what are your thoughts on the matter?
I do not want to overstep my position, but if there is something that could damage not only the Vandenbosch name, but our future, Angeline deserves to know.
That is a very diplomatic answer.
You have met Madame. You know it is best to not get on her wrong side.
I have, and Monsieur Gideon is wise to select his battles carefully where Madame is concerned. I cannot help noticing an air of antipathy when mentioning
You are very observant,
the
detective.
Major.
You would be wise to keep
Oh,
a
is that-
perceptive nature while you're here.
Is that Major Felix? Is that the guy who was at the beginning of the game?
I'm sure you are correct.
The other cop?
But I'd like to return to your feelings towards the Major.
He has been a good friend to Madame Vandenbosch over the years, but that does not make him a good man, or suitable to involve himself in family affairs.
Monsieur Gideon has not said anything negative against the Major, but it sounds as though he is questionable of the
Merci,
Major's
monsieur.
intentions.
I shall
in the
leave you to
house.
prepare for tonight's celebration.
Okay. Felix isn't here. Let's see what it says. The fiancé of Mademoiselle Angeline. Although English is not his first language, he is well spoken, which I presume comes from a prestigious education. I instantly found him rather charming and charismatic, and is clearly supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline. The perfect example of a husband-to-be. Okay, what's on our... Talk to Angeline. Zach, inspect the ground floor hall. All right. We know where Zach is. Bon, Mademoiselle Angeline is here, wearing the same dress as 20 years ago, or wherever that was. Perfect husband? Sus. Could be. I was thinking, I was like, he could be a, like, suspect in that case. Like, he seems helpful, but maybe, and distrustful of, even though the Major, we don't like the Major, he is a like, officer. Maybe he's like, I don't like this guy being here. Though, to his credit, even though the Vandenbosch name is, I guess, seen as being somewhat prestigious, maybe, they're not like, they can't be super wealthy. So, it's not like he's marrying her for money or something. I would be confused what his motive would be. But we'll see. Angeline is here. The sooner I learn more about the blackmail, the quicker she can return to celebrating her happy news. I am also eager to hear about Mademoiselle Elizabeth and what became of young Fleurette. A new mind map. The Vandenbosch family have held a place in my mind since our first meeting. I am most interested to see what has changed since then. Okay. Receipt and the tag on base. It appears the family's financial situation is much the same as the last time I saw them. Can I confirm this? Talk to Gideon. All right. Welcome back,
Mademoiselle
Secret.
Angeline, it is a pleasure to see you again.
Angeline.
Detective, how wonderful you are here. Your travel was not too arduous, I hope?
Watching from my carriage window, I saw the beautiful countryside and rolling hills. It was anything but taxing.
You have not changed a bit. And by that, I mean you're literally wearing the same clothes as before. You have not changed. Got a new desk set up. Got my chair in today. Came in the mailroom downstairs, fully assembled. That's awesome. What kind of chair did you get? In a giant box I could nap in. Amazing.
I'm truly thankful you could make it here at such late notice.
No thanks are required, mademoiselle. When one is requested personally, there is nothing more important.
Seems the staff have been almost run off their feet today. Is it always like this?
I only wanted a small dinner to celebrate our engagement, but Maman was adamant on throwing this party. It may have been her idea, but it's the staff that have made it happen.
A steel case. I think I was looking at those a while back. Adrian, welcome in. How are you? How's your Friday? A Secret is now a cat enjoying the box. Secret is allergic to herself now. If it slaps, I naps. Love it. I think I was looking at steel case. Those are really good chairs. I remember I was looking at a steel case and something else, but a lot of people recommended that one, so that's awesome. What does it look like? What color is it?
Their efforts do not go unnoticed, from me at least. They have been with us for so long. I do my best to make sure they are happy and content.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year's Eve from Australia. That's right, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I totally forgot. Well, that's right. Oh wow, that's exciting. I guess I should stream early tomorrow. Now think about it. So that way it's not... Oh yeah. Not that I had any plans or anything for New Year's. So, but that's awesome. Happy New Year's Eve. Do you do like resolutions or anything, or are you just keep it cool? What do you do? Mademoiselle has made a remarkable transformation from selfish, spoiled brat to the gracious young woman I see before me. Although I must solve this case alone, Mademoiselle's insight may be of great assistance throughout my investigation. Oh, featuring my new emote. P.S. I used the default Twitch emote and it made it blue. Nice. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, that's great. It's adorable. Who is aware of the
Only
blackmail
Maman,
letters
Elizabeth,
and their content?
my beloved Gideon, and you, of course.
Okay. So the mother... Is it going to be a twist, like the mom is the one who's sending blackmail? Like maybe it's a reverse situation, where in the first case Angeline was the fake thief, or she set up a thief, but it ended up being she hit it herself. I wonder if it's like the mom is the one sending blackmail letters, and Jet loves a plot twist. I do, and and it's the mom is the one who's like setting this all up. The only reason why I already think this is because, one, she's the worst. Two, because it kind of makes sense. I don't know. It almost, who does it? It would make sense for it to be somebody who maybe already knows about the letters, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maman, Elizabeth, my beloved Gideon, and you, of course. All right, so there's only 5 people that know about the blackmail, including Angela.
And what is your fiancé's opinion of the letters?
He thinks me foolish for paying the first one if there is no secret to reveal. But
you believe there may be a secret lurking, one that Maman is herself keeping hidden.
she tells me nothing. Even though I'm a grown woman on the verge of marriage, she still treats me like the child I once was.
Perhaps it is out of love that she protects you. It is in every mother's nature to protect their young from hurt.
Though, to be fair, it could be a red herring. Maybe she's just the worst, but she's innocent. I'm excited for Jet to open it. Yeah, tomorrow. I have to go to the post office tomorrow, pick it up, and then we'll open it on stream. Right? The post office isn't closed on New Year's Eve, right? They're probably only New Year's Day is the holiday, right? The relationship between Madame and Mademoiselle is obviously far from perfect. She should treasure the time she has with Mademoiselle Angeline before she is wed and has flown the nest. Do you have any suspicions as to who
Not
may
a
have
single
sent the
person.
letters?
I don't know anyone that would stoop so low.
The guests that will be joining us tonight, they are ones you can trust?
I hope so, Detective. Before the letters arrived, I would not have thought twice about it.
They are all close friends of yours, I assume.
Friends and colleagues. Gideon has spoken positively about them. It would be a rather underhanded tactic to do such a thing to someone you are doing business with.
Mademoiselle seems naive to the nature of business. It can be ruthless and unapologetic. Perhaps I should not overlook them as suspects as quickly as Mademoiselle has. Tell me, what became of the young
Detective,
maidservant Florette?
I'm afraid I just don't know.
She was quite adamant at the police station that she would not be returning to the house, but I assumed she would at least collect her belongings.
Maman demanded that Elizabeth pack up everything she had and dispose of it.
Oh, wow. As if the poor girl had not lost, or already lost enough. Well, maybe Florette's behind this in some way. We need to find out if Florette is, like, related to somebody.
But I couldn't
Yikes.
let that happen.
Yeah.
Elizabeth and I took her belongings, what little there was of them, to a friend of hers in the town that Elizabeth knew of. But not even she had heard from her. I wanted
Could
to
Florette have
contact
returned
her,
to her
but I had
family?
no address or telephone number.
Surely Madame must have had some information when she employed her.
You saw how Mama was. As soon as Florette was out of sight of the house, it was as though she had never been there at all. Elizabeth was most upset at the news Florette would not be returning.
And your mama's choice to ignore her accountability for the girl stopped you searching.
Please, Detective, you cannot make me feel any worse than I already do. If I could go back and live that day again, you must believe me, I would never have done it.
Mademoiselle Angeline has finally accepted responsibility and is remorseful for her actions that day and the consequences that followed. I am pleased to see a maturity in her, but that does not help young Florette, wherever she may be.
Yes, Maman has quite a collection.
Interesting.
Although they are not all to my taste. Most, in fact.
The painting of the saints, in particular, it is quite exquisite. Is it connected to the house in some way?
The one in the hall? If you look above your bedroom door, you will see one of their names. I believe they were originally carved to watch over the occupant.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
Very interesting. No connections, but Florette. Yeah, she's, I mean, totally involved in this in some way. Her whereabouts are unknown. Elizabeth is upset Florette was dismissed. Angeline is entrusted of looking after the staff. Why is Angeline especially concerned about their well-being? She tried to contact Florette. I wonder why Angeline tried to get a hold of Florette after such an incident. Okay. No connections, though. Ooh, there's one here, though. New things. Angeline claims the saints are represented above some of the doors in this house. How many, I wonder? Gideon said 6 guests are staying on the first floor. The family can retain their privacy on the second.
Is there something I have?
No.
Order and
This.
method. That is the
Okay. Oh, wait.
the pieces of the puzzle are finally.
7 prestigious saints. I should find these above 7 doors in the house. I wonder if this matches the number of expected guests.
What a revelation!
All the first floor rooms are accounted for. Perhaps the missing door is hidden elsewhere? One door is missing.
Things are beginning to
This
become clear.
I fear Mademoiselle's secret may not be the only one hiding, the only one this house is hiding. House holds many secrets. Okay. I actually kind of hope this just turns out to be Clue. I want secret passageways, everything.
Detective.
The
It looks as
whole
though I might be out here
shebang.
all weekend. What can I do for you?
Would it not be easier to find the staff
I'm
yourself
a
instead of waiting for
guest.
their return?
I shouldn't have to go around chasing them.
Perhaps the party preparation is more of a priority.
It's not my fault they aren't ready. Why don't I wait here while you check in the butler's pantry in the east corridor? I think I saw a maid go in there earlier.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt.
A bientôt. Inspect the butler's pantry in the east area, which is somewhere. Also, I didn't clear this away. Okay. Was it this way? Where is this? This is east to the butler's pantry. Ah, I see. I'm just noticing that the save icon is a quill and ink. I wonder if that quill in the hallway is going to be importante. Oh, is that Elizabeth?
Oh.
The cook has obviously used them for quite some time, judging by their condition. Right. Imagine if you did this in real life, where instead of like talking to the person in the room, the first thing you did was like look at everything and then talk to them. There does not seem to be anything of interest in here, at least for now.
Ah, Mademoiselle Elizabeth. What a pleasure to see you again.
Detective Poirot, I'm so glad you could make it.
Unfortunately, it is not purely for pleasure that I am here. Mademoiselle Angeline requires my attention professionally.
Yes, Angeline has told me. I'm glad she called upon you, Detective. I've been rather worried about her.
Mm-hmm. Have you?
I will do everything I can
Blackmailer.
to find the blackmailer and bring them to justice.
I have every faith in you.
I hope I am not interrupting you.
We're all very busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. After I'm done, I can come to your room and help you with any further questions.
Rather embarrassed to say, I'm having
No one
trouble locating my
escorted you.
room.
I'm so sorry. Everyone is just so frantic at the moment. Madame has requested all staff prepare for this evening.
And you have been tasked with jobs in the pantry. Surely your talents could be used elsewhere.
I do as Madame asks. Well, as Archie asks.
Monsieur Sterling. Yes, I met him when I arrived. A charming gentleman. He did give me some rather vague instructions to find my room, though.
I can only apologise on his behalf. He would be mortified. I'm afraid I cannot be of much more help, but I believe you are located next to Mr. De Silva. By all means, the house is yours to explore.
Nice. I suppose I should not take Monsieur Sterling's lack of directions personally, considering the amount of work the staff has been tasked with. At least now I have permission to further roam the house. I'm glad to see Mademoiselle Angeline has not allowed the blackmail to dampen her spirits today.
Though. She has not been herself, and it is not only I that have noticed.
Madame Vandenbosch. Surely it must have had some effect on her.
Madame has carried on as though nothing has happened. She has never been one to show emotion, and she doesn't seem to notice how it has affected Angeline. The staff, on the other hand... Angeline means no harm, but there have been some instances recently where she has acted rather sharply with them.
I hope not too sharply. A house of 2 Madame Vandenbosches would surely be too much for anyone.
Yes.
I saw the welcome book as I
requested
arrived.
to sign the book when arriving. I believe it gives details to the guests' room locations.
It stated the male guests are to be staying in the East Wing.
Yes, Madame does not believe in male and female guests residing beside one another.
I've been eagerly waiting to hear more of
Oh,
Belgium's
yes,
greatest love story.
I'm afraid it is far from a happy ending.
Oh no.
Luke is sadly...
Oh no.
Oh,
Where did he move
mademoiselle,
to?
I was not aware.
It's fine, Detective, honestly. I'm sorry, but I really must finish this.
Bien sûr, mademoiselle.
For a man that has a mind so brilliant and astute, I have made an easy job of embarrassing myself. Let this be a reminder to use one's
Merci,
gray cells
mademoiselle.
before speaking.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
Okay. Luke passed away. Okay, we have a conversation with Angeline now. Inspect the East rooms. Yikes, indeed. My room is next to Ernesto. She called De Silva, I think is what she said. Permission to roam and talk to Zakiri. Zach. We'll just call him Zach. Okay.
Before you leave, Detective, I have something for you beside the furnace here from Angeline. She wanted me to give it to you on your arrival.
Merci, mademoiselle. Oh.
The second letter acknowledges a payment from a previous blackmail letter. Mademoiselle Vandenbosch, you were wise to take me seriously. You have bought my silence, for a moment at least. Your family's privacy obviously means a great deal to you. If you are willing to pay to keep your secrets hidden and continue to pay your will, or to pay, you will. If you are willing to pay to keep your secrets hidden and continue to pay, you will. There we go. Would your maman be as willing to part with her wealth? You will bring a second parcel with another 5,000 francs to the cobblers, this time addressed to Monsieur Fontaine by close on Friday. Ye have done your family a service by keeping this arrangement to yourself. I'm sure I do not have to tell you what will happen if the police are involved, and I hope it will not come to that. I'm now able to read the letters that were sent to Mademoiselle Angeline. I am sure there is a great deal to learn from them, and hopefully some clues to the author. Ooh, a handwritten quill pen.
Yes, I would say a moment of genius.
I can't ignore the coincidence. The same style of pen that wrote the letters is present in the house. Maman? Is it you? Talk to Elizabeth. Are we still with the police? Do we know how much time has passed? I don't know if we are. She, in that, like, little video, it kind of showed time passing, and I feel like a bit of time has passed, and that we're like a detective now, almost. Like, we don't need, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if we're like an official. I think we're just like. I think we just solve cases. Like I think we're a private detective.
Of course, detective.
But I could
What
be
is
wrong.
it?
No, she calls us detective. I don't know. I noticed a rather
I would not
extravagant
say in
looking
front of
pen in the
Major,
hall.
But it is rather hideous. It was a gift from him to Madame from his time overseas. I don't think it even has the capability of writing.
A pen that does not write is like a fish that cannot swim.
As Angeline describes it, a useless ornament. It's the thought that counts, I suppose.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Pleasure is mine, detective.
Interesting. Interesting. So it was a gift from Gideon to the mom. Let's actually. Okay, we can talk to
What
Angeline.
can I help you with, detective?
Elizabeth showed me the letters you
I was
received.
right
One of
to
them
pay
has
it,
already been
yes?
paid.
You have read them. What do you think?
You were wise to consult me, but bowing to their threat may have only shown that you are willing to pay for their silence. Is the secret they speak of worth so much?
I wish I could, but I have no idea. The letter was addressed to me, but I have nothing to hide. Maman took one look at it and disregarded the whole thing as someone's idea of a joke.
She looked at
okay.
it. She is not aware of the second letter.
She doesn't know I paid the first. I thought I could make it all go away.
Did you ask Madame if there was a family secret they could be privy to?
She said I was to ignore the letters and stop wasting my time with such foolishness. If there was something, she wouldn't tell me anyway.
It appears Mademoiselle believes her maman's attempts to brush away the serious nature of the letters as little as I do. May I ask how you came into such a large
I
amount
couldn't
of
ask
money
Maman for the
to
money.
pay the ransom?
She was angry that I had even considered paying it. Gideon offered to help.
Pardon, did he not think you foolish for paying?
He did, but he said he couldn't stand by and watch me in so much distress.
How honorable.
We are soon to be married, detective. A loving partnership that faces their troubles together. They are his words.
Okay, maybe it wouldn't make sense for him to be the blackmailer, right? Because if so, then he just paid himself.
I did not mean anything, mademoiselle. You have found yourself a husband that will stand by your side and do what must be done to protect you. I am most pleased for you.
The mom dismissing it is probably also not in her favor. Maybe she's just, you know, she's playing 3D chess. And she knew that Angeline would still pay it regardless. How has Mademoiselle Elizabeth been
As
since
you
the
would
passing of her
expect,
beloved Luke?
She has been in quite a state. It was such a terrible accident. She kept it to herself for almost a week before she even told me.
Pardon, how could you not know? Surely his absence from the house was noticed.
Maman fired him after he returned to the house. She said he could not be trusted.
But Mademoiselle Elizabeth's position was kept?
I begged Maman for them both, but she said if he was willing to go behind her back, what else could he do?
Falling in love is a far cry from committing even the smallest crime, n'est-ce pas?
A cruel and unnecessary decision by Madame Van den Bosch. She had no right to fire him and tear him away from his betrothed. Spoke with Mademoiselle Elizabeth,
She
and I
has been a
fear I
kind
may have
shoulder to
upset
lean
her.
on through all this mess, but it is her I worry about. She has been through so much.
I was not aware of what had happened, and by mentioning, I fear I may have only made it worse by dredging up the past.
Do not punish yourself, detective. You are not to know. I don't think your honest mistake will make much difference to how she has been feeling recently.
I wonder, like, how much time passed since he died, also. Like, was that a year ago? Was that last week? When was this? is easier said than done. I have already seen a difference in Mademoiselle Elizabeth. She was once so exuberant and optimistic, seeing the positives in everything and everyone. But now I fear the loss of her love, and the careless reminder from moi may
Merci,
have dampened
mademoiselle.
her outlook.
I shall find you if there is anything further I need.
Okay. Talk to Gideon. He's upstairs. Also, we have a link. These are connected.
Is there some...
Nope. The quill pen is ornamental. Are these shared?
I must take a different approach if I am to... I must act on thought and fact. Come, my little grey cells.
Ah,
This will not get me any
wait. Oh. Oh, of course
Another
these are connected.
success. I never...
That makes sense. It is truly terrible that Luke passed away, and to see how broken Elizabeth is. Elizabeth mourns for Luke. Elizabeth upset Fred was dismissed? Losing a loved one and not having a close friend to talk to would be difficult for anyone. Losing a loved... Yeah, so she's... everyone she loves is leaving. Is gone. Oh, there's still Link here.
The pieces of the puzzle are...
They will no doubt be concerned for not only Angeline, but also for their positions at the house. What is the extent of their knowledge of the matter? I see. The staff is aware of the blackmail. Okay. What are we supposed to do now? Talk to Gideon. He's upstairs.
Please, ask away, detective.
I'm aware finances can be a sensitive subject, but may I
As far as
ask
I'm
of the
aware,
house's
everything
situation?
is in order. From what I understand, the late Viscount had made some questionable investments. But that is all in the past.
And regarding the payment of the blackmail,
Angeline does not have to worry about money anymore. I was born into some wealth, and I have earned my own fortune.
I assume you've heard about the consequences of
Angeline has spoken
my
of it.
visit last time.
You made quite the impression on her, detective.
I feel responsible for what came from that day. Florette's dismissal and Luke's.
It is not your fault. Madame van den Bosch does not like it when her rules or authority are undermined. I try to explain to Angeline the same, but her guilt has not left her.
Mademoiselle explained the
I suppose
payment
you think
of the
I was
blackmail letter.
unwise to pay it?
I am glad Mademoiselle requested my help before you fell further out of pocket.
Madame van den Bosch had no intentions of paying it, whether she believes there is a secret that could ruin the family or not.
It was an honorable move for you to make the payment. It was certainly no small fee.
I wonder what the what could the secret be? I don't think we have any clues
Angeline
about
is to
that.
be my wife, and then we shall be family. As far as I am concerned, my money is our money.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebrations.
Okay, so 2 connections. I see. We have this now. Gideon believes finances are in order. I'm glad they got through the rocky stage I saw them in last time. Gideon sees his money as a family's. Okay. Angeline guilty about dismissal. It is nice to know Angeline acknowledges her faults regarding Florette's impromptu dismissal.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps...
Nope.
Order and method. That is the way... I should not be surprised by my...
There we go. Angeline is trying to do good, even though the dismissals weren't entirely her fault. Angeline is trying to redeem herself.
Is there something...
She's matured.
What a revelation.
Mademoiselle Angeline says she never intended for Florette to be fired. I believe her. One more link somewhere.
I cannot see the logic in this. Another success.
It looks like the family have finally gotten back on track with their money problems. Great to hear. It is certainly not the happy news I was expecting. Mademoiselle Elizabeth lost her beloved Luke, and young Florette, the maidservant, has not been seen even with Mademoiselle Angeline's efforts. At least it appears the family have survived their financial difficulties. Okay, objective complete. So we're now fully caught up with what all has happened, has transpired over the many years.
Aha.
Okay, so it's still not our room. I think our objective now is to find our room, probably. We were given full access to the house. Zach Demir, I presume, and his rather expensive luggage. His room faces the back garden.
Huh.
This plant is striking and full of color. It really draws one's attention in a positive way. I should really conclude that this room is mine before going in. Okay, I mean, it's probably not. But the time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. Lots of grandfather clocks. I can hear a male voice practicing what sounds like a speech. Perhaps we shall hear this later. Okay. He sounded like an Animal Crossing character. Based on the clip we heard. So many plants to inspect. What else do we have in this hallway? Ooh. More luggage for Mr. E. Da Silva. Left unattended and right between the two front-facing rooms. All right, so this is the other... One of these rooms is ours. I would not consider any form of nature ugly, but I am not sure how I feel about this plant. It is an interesting choice.
Huh. Aha.
This may be my room, but it looks like I have a few things to settle first. Ah. Talk to Zach. Oh, also. We have a link. Somewhere. Hideous plant. I would not consider... Okay, yeah, so... Alright. Someone reciting a speech. Luggage for... Zach, excuse me. Luggage for Silva.
I must
These
take a
aren't-
different
There's no
approach
reason
if I
for
am...
these to be connected. Okay. Just had to double check, though. I mean, definitely the hideous plant is connected to their many secrets.
I should not be surprised by my own...
I must have been one of the last to arrive. I should settle myself as soon as possible. Alright. But we gotta go talk to Zach. Whoops. Out of everyone currently, I would say the Madame is maybe the most suspicious to me just because of how awful she is. I don't know if Elizabeth would get involved with something like this, but we don't know. She's experienced a lot of loss. Maybe she fears something will happen to her job. I don't know.
Detective, it looks as though I might be out here all weekend. What can I do for you?
Monsieur Sterling
that
said my
what
room
he
was on the
said?
first floor.
I can barely understand most of what he says with that accent.
I can understand Monsieur Sterling perfectly, but Demir is one more Vin Rouge away from like red wine, away from
I find his
being
accent rather
unintelligible.
pleasant, reassuring.
I guess. Not too helpful when it comes to finding your room, though. You'll probably be the lucky one that has that hideous plant outside the door.
Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
shall take up no more of your time.
Okay. What do we got? What do we got? Hideous plant and Zach's directions, probably. Wait. Oh, we have no things. Okay. Thought we did. All right. Oh, no. Upstairs. But what is this? Well, we were given permission to fully roam, but I guess still can't go through these doors. Seems a little hypocritical, but whatever. Don't tell me I don't have full access. Or don't tell me I have full access if we don't have full access. Alright, there's no links. Okay. And it was through this one, I think. The bedroom next to Monsieur de Silva. This must be my room. Finally, I found ma chambre. Although the journey was longer than expected, the destination is really quite charming. I should make myself familiar and comfortable in my new surroundings. This is a pretty nice room.
Ah.
I wonder if I will get the chance to catch up my reading whilst I stay here. I'm gonna say probably not.
Oh.
The snow has limited the view from the window, but it certainly has a beauty of its own. Chambre.
Oh.
A roaring fire. I could stare into the flames. Even for a detective like myself, finding this room was quite an arduous task. The house may hold more secrets than expected. Okay. We have gotten settled in our room. Elizabeth! Hello! How may I be of
Elizabeth,
assistance?
thank you for coming. I shall not take up too much more of your precious time.
Not at all, Detective. I had best not be away for too long. Madame would not be pleased when there is so much work to do.
Well, mademoiselle, if anyone was to ask, I required your urgent attention with a delicate matter. That should be enough to give you a moment's peace.
Thank you, Detective.
Can I assume you're aware of the
I have
probable
heard
blackmail
whispers.
ring in
This
the
town
area?
is full of busybodies. It's hard to know what is the truth and what is hot air from socialites trying to outdo one another.
I would not have thought you want to join in with such chatter.
I'm not, but it can be hard to ignore. I try to quash any talk of it in the house. But it's easier said than done. When the staff are together, it seems to be a competition to see who can dream up the most scandalous rumour.
You are a loyal maid and friend. Mademoiselle Angeline is fortunate to have you.
It baffles me why they would target her in the first place. She has such a kind and pure soul. That may not be what you remember of Mademoiselle, but she has grown into a kind-hearted young lady.
I was wary of that when I arrived, but I myself can see a change in her, a maturity. And if it is as kind and pure as you have stated, she should not be troubled by the letter.
Letters, Detective. I brought you the other.
Ooh. Mademoiselle Vandenbosch, you do not know me, but I know you and your family very well. For years, you have stood high on your pedestal, attending parties and living the lifestyle of the upper class, a life that you were born into, all the while hiding a sordid secret that would tarnish the Vandenbosch name forever. Once a respected family with morals and nobility, but now you rely on riches and jewelry to show your worth, a worth that is not deserved. Even residing in a home that was obtained under your lies, but not for long. For your secret to remain exactly that, take a small brown paper parcel filled with 5,000 francs addressed to Monsieur Dupont, to Barbier and Sons Cobblers before sundown on Friday. If you do as I request, this will be the last you hear from me. You will be able to return to your life of stolen wealth and excess. If you refuse, be sure the name Vandenbosch will be on the whisper of lips for years to come. You've been residing in a home that was obtained under your lies. It's weird because this is like clearly targeting Angeline. You would think they would try to target her mom, because I think she said that her mom actually is the one who owns the house. I'm curious what could have happened in the time between then and now. Do we know much about their father? He's dead. He's been dead for a while. We don't know what business he was in, I don't think. Like, I wonder if it has to do something with that. Like, did the father do something? Did he make some enemy? And now there's that, or... Okay.
I have tried to tell her not to think any more on them, but she fears that even a fabricated story could ruin the family name. She even frets at what it may do to her engagement.
I have met Monsieur Demire, and I cannot see his love for Angeline diminishing at something so trivial. Merci for bringing this letter to me.
Mademoiselle Angeline worries so much about the family name, but for Mademoiselle Elizabeth's telling, she has nothing to worry about, at least from her own perspective. Perhaps the secret does not directly concern Angeline at all, and she's merely the easy target.
Mademoiselle.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
Basically, kind of what I said. Okay. Okay. We have one link here. Payment demanded. The first letter contains the initial threat and demands payment. The letter suggests the blackmailer wants to see the family to lose everything, including the house.
Come, my little Grayson.
No.
This will not get me any closer to...
I don't know. Wishes family to suffer. Can't connect to anything, I don't think.
I must act on... Magnifique.
The staff members that are aware of the blackmail could possibly know the reason why. Oh, it appears the Vanden Bosch secret may not be a secret at all. The house staff may know what the blackmailer is holding over the family. Interesting thought. Still don't have a link for this one, but let's just see what these are. Wishes to see them suffer. Blackmailer wishes family to leave the manor. Okay.
Of course, Detective. What? She will
Do you
no
know
doubt
where
be with
Mademoiselle
Master Bedouin.
Angeline is now?
The party was just beginning when I came upstairs.
That is my cue to make a grand entrance. Am I presentable enough for the creme of society?
Quite handsome, Detective.
Merci. If you catch me snoring, please poke me in the ribs.
I will use Madame's sharpest poker.
Is that a callback to the cheese, the poker to break the latch in her
Sounds
window
as
when
though
she was a
someone else
child?
may have already been poked.
Chapter 2. Okay, I hope we're getting introduced to all of the characters now. I want to see who this house is filled with. Oh. The altercation? Looks like something has happened. Uh-oh. Gideon punched him or something.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
please,
hope I'm like,
if you would be
hello,
so kind
everyone.
to return to the party.
If I just, while this altercation is happening, just being like, hello, everyone. Behold, I am, Hercules Poirot.
With all this excitement out here,
I believe that is an end to the excitement, as you put it, Monsieur Demire.
It's hardly the job of a detective to resolve domestic arguments, but under the circumstances, perhaps there's more to it. I shall speak with the Major outside. Curious. Looks like Gideon punched or
God.
pushed.
One last match.
Yeah, this is the same guy.
Bonjour,
isn't it?
Monsieur Hagen.
I wondered when you would be arriving. At least now you can do your job.
His voice sounds somewhat familiar, but maybe it's just...
Pardon, Monsieur.
I have just been assaulted. I want him arrested.
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. I merely witnessed you standing up from the ground.
This is ridiculous.
Would you like to
You know
explain what
very
happened?
well what he did.
Perhaps you could elaborate on what instigated the altercation.
I should have known you wouldn't make things easy.
It is clear that the Major is still outraged by what has just happened, but I must learn what caused such escalation into physical violence. Push on whether
I
the
have
Major
met
instigated the
Monsieur
altercation.
Demire. He does not seem one to physically assault someone unless provoked.
I hope you're not implying that I started it.
I mean, just look at your mustache. You're
I am
clearly
only
a
stating
bad
what I have
guy.
seen.
I was having a private conversation with Angeline when he interrupted and struck me. That is all there is to know.
If the Major is still the same man that I met all those years ago, I'm sure he will remain defensive and the blame for the altercation will fall solely on Monsieur. Though I am on the Major's side. Oh, what? Did I skip a line? Perhaps the best approach. Restart. If the Major is still the same man that I met all those years ago, I'm sure he will, remain defensive, and the blame for the altercation will fall solely on Monsieur Demire. Perhaps the best approach would be to act as though I'm on the Major's side and cox out the truth. It must have been a rather heated conversation for him to intervene. Your conversation with Mademoiselle Angeline had the utmost respect and politeness towards her. Your conversation with Mademoiselle Angeline. Let's go with straight. Let's not try to implicate.
The
Let's
content
try
of my
to
conversation
let's just
is not
speak
your concern.
straightforward.
What should be is that a man has been physically assaulted in his own home.
I understood this to be Nemozine House, the Vandenbosch residence. Am I mistaken?
And I reside here. My home is not what is being questioned right now.
You have grown rather close with the Vandenbosch family, it seems.
What has my relationship with the family got to do with anything? Why are you even here, officer?
Detective. And I was invited by Mademoiselle Angeline, personally.
Seems to be mistake after mistake with that girl.
Do you think she has made a mistake in agreeing to marry Monsieur Demire? There must be a reason for your animosity towards.
Of course I do. What a stupid question. He is scum. Him and his whole family. If I had my way, he wouldn't have even stepped foot in this house.
Dang. Do you think Monsieur Demir's actions were appropriate? So I can either do something mocking or antagonizing. There's clearly some hostility between you and Demir.
Officer Poirot,
Let's go with
are
antagonizing.
you going to do something about him or not?
It is Detective Poirot. And if you refuse to answer my questions, I do not see how I can continue.
I just don't know what she sees in him. Angeline could do so much better. I don't think she realizes what she is getting herself into. I can't imagine her living a happy life with that rogue.
I see. Merci, monsieur, for your honest opinion, whether I agree or not.
Gideon's a rogue?
I shall leave you to
knew
your
I liked
cigar and return to the party.
Look at us getting all these achievos. Oh, I wonder if I got that achievement because I, like, broke his defenses. It is not often such a violent altercation happens at a celebration such as this. I should investigate why it began. A new mind map. This party is already filled with more drama than most, and it has barely begun. I was requested here to find the blackmailer, but perhaps the altercation is connected somehow. Okay. Oh.
Monsieur Sterling, I trust the preparations are progressing since our last meeting.
Please, Detective. Archibald is fine. Everything is in order now. Are you ready to join the party?
You are head butler of this house. It is a position that warrants respect, and I shall continue to give it, Monsieur Sterling. And I must admit, it is the smell from the kitchen that has my attention more than the party itself.
Rehana is quite the cook, but it will still be some time. Maybe you'd like to enjoy a drink while you wait. Some of the guests are already in the salon to your left.
Rahana was also around at the start of the game as well, but we never met her. I forget what her job was. She was the cook also, if I recall, because that's why Florette had to go to town, was to get breakfast for them.
And the
or
remaining
something
guests
like that.
are in the library on the first floor.
I will be sure to explore both. Merci.
Merci. Do this evening's plans fall
Dinner
under
will
any
be
sort of
served in the
schedule?
dining room.
Schedule.
But the rest of the evening is yours to enjoy.
You have all certainly been working hard, it seems.
Very hard. The lady of the house wanted everything a certain way, and that's how it was to be done.
You did not want to interject in the altercation
It is my
between Demir and the
responsibility to look
Major?
after the house and staff, not to resolve petty disputes.
I cannot imagine he will be in any mood to attend the party.
He often has a cigar to calm down, and if that doesn't relax him, that temperature outside surely will.
Merci. You have been most helpful.
Okay. It is time I met my fellow guests of the party. They all have a connection to the family in some respect, and although they are here to join in the celebrations, perhaps one of them has a more sinister motive. Or what if all of them do? What if they're all the blackmailer? Twist. Discovered. They all sent letters at the same time. Who am I missing?
I told you.
I figured this is where they are.
I'm
but,
not a reporter.
But you're going to
Jackie.
want to hear this. You could interview me now.
And why would I want to spend my evening doing that?
The world needs to know. You want to sell papers, I want the truth to be known. Win-win.
I came here to enjoy myself, not to hear a second-string version of...
I was there. I saw the whole thing, including who was ruining the show.
All right, I'll bite. Let's talk later.
Jackie Conrad. Hugo and Jackie had a heated discussion. Where's Hugo? Hugo Becker's heated discussion. We got all stock to him as well.
Bonjour. Are you a guest of Mademoiselle Angeline or Monsieur Demire?
Do I know you?
Where are my manners? I am Hercule Poirot.
The lawman.
Oui, monsieur. Detective Poirot. And you are?
Ernesto da Silva.
A pleasure, monsieur.
I'm a man
So
of
what is it you
business.
do?
I see.
And that means...
Is there a particular area of business that is your focus?
Overseas investments, international relations. I also own a number of factories in the city.
A man of few words. This may become more like drawing blood from a stone
Très bien.
than a back
Monsieur
and
has
forth
many
conversation.
talents.
Am I right in thinking the late Viscount was
We
involved
work
in such
together
business
as
affairs?
partners, Yes.
Ah, okay. So...
You must know the Van den Bosch family well, then.
I help Cassandra, rather, Madame Van den Bosch, if and when she needs me.
Monsieur referred to Madame Van den Bosch as Cassandra before quickly retracting. Perhaps they are closer than he is willing to say. You witnessed the altercation between the Major and Monsieur Demire.
But frankly, I have no time for childish school fights.
You are not aware of the circumstances that started it, then?
I heard something about a cigar. Only Felix would be petty enough to get riled up by something so menial.
A cigar?
How come your color palette is colder today? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out all this week, actually. It's been like that since I started this week, and I don't know. I have no idea. Nothing's changed with my camera. Oh, actually, something has changed with my camera. Wait, I think I remember. Hold on. There we go. I fixed it. It was me. There we go. I totally forgot. So this past weekend I used my camera, and so I had to change settings, and I thought I reset everything back to normal, but I didn't. The one thing that I changed was the white balance, which makes sense, but I forgot. I had done that so quickly that I forgot that I even changed it at all. But you reminded me, so thank you, Azure. You just needed a little Azure in your life to help you with these things. You're welcome. And now lurk. And now people leave. Yeah, I just switched it back. I had this weekend I switched it to auto white balance. Interestingly, in a weird turn for some, maybe it's because of the professional lighting, but I've switched the white balance. It looks better this way, but I have to set it to daylight instead of like inside or whatever. But yes, so thank you, Azure. This actually helps. Let me double check. Now that I switched that, Hold on, let me go here for a sec. My green screen is still fine, I think. Let me just double check one thing. Yeah, it's still fine. I bet, though... There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that should be fine. Why not? Why not? We might have to adjust it again later, but there we go. Perfect. Well, thank you, Azure. You gave me a clue, and I was able to fix it, so thank you. I would not expect two children to act that way, let alone two supposed distinguished gentlemen. Gideon. And we have a link. The Major's cigars. Gideon had one of the Major's cigars. The Major wanted to calm down. Would the Major really start a physical fight over Gideon stealing a cigar? Gideon possibly stole a cigar. You need to talk to Zach about it. Oh, there's one more thing. Let's see what we got here. The Major supports the family. Ernesto helped out the family. Talked to Margao. Ernesto is fond of Cassandra. There's only so much help you can receive before you're simply relying on someone. What do the family still need assistance with? They do need help. Nothing else? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm getting used to the mind map now. I feel like I kind of understand it better. Perhaps a happy couple's engagement has someone in a particularly romantic mood. A romance novelle. There are enough mysteries in this house without being distracted by a fictional one. Collection of books. I could spend every waking moment reading about the adventures of the characters within these books. Looks like the happy couple are planning their honeymoon, but are undecided on their destination. Imagine having a library like this in your house. It amazes me. I could stare and gaze to the flame for hours. Yep. You'd think he'd think something else. It must be from the library. I wonder if this story would match the excitement of this weekend. It's a thriller novel. Okay, let's talk to these people in a second. Let's look around. If I had a love of my own to declare, I would surely take inspiration from them. More romance novels. Collection of books. Suspense and tension. 2 ways authors keep their readers hooked on their character stories. More mystery novels. Ooh. Gazing at the... it sounded like a cat. Gazing at the stars is truly one of life's simple pleasures, but the telescope is facing down. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Is there something out there that you would need a telescope to see? Maybe we should look through. Madame must have a great interest in religious saints to have such material on them. Also, yeah, I mean, looks like a weird setup. What's with you got a ton of books next to a chair? It honestly looks like you would sit on this stack of books to look down the telescope, but I'm not sure. I've often found myself thinking on the prospect of traveling, perhaps one day. By the way, you could totally recreate this room in Animal Crossing. You have the new item stands. You've got the globe, a chair. I think there is a telescope, right? It's a white one, I believe. You got these bookshelves, fireplace, easy. Easy peasy. All right, let's talk to Jackie first. I just realized that she's American. What is it that you do? I shall bite my tongue at the Mademoiselle's comment. Culture is at the heart of our country. I cannot say the same for the United States. As I'll say, of course, I make the American to be... like the most proud and sensitive. Her name was not one I immediately recognized, but from her confidence and her assumption in being recognized, I believe her to be a well-known newspaper magnate whose stories occupy me every morning. How is it you have come to be a guest here tonight? Where's the game? What do you mean? Oh, no! Wait, I haven't had it on the screen. No! Because I switched over here. Thank you. I tested a thing and I forgot to switch it back. Thank you, Sassy. Oh, I've just been going along then. So we have been talking to Jackie. Basically what you've missed is... That's better. Basically what you've missed is that Jackie is a newspaper magnate. And what you guys also missed is that she is... Hercule Poirot asked who she was, and she was like, "You don't know who I am?" And we're like, "No." What's your name? And she's like, "Really? You don't know who I am?" And then she made a comment about, she said something like, "Oh, I thought you Europeans are supposed to be so cultured." And so that's why I was like, of course they would make the American be very prideful and like, I don't know, just the worst. But I think that's pretty much the only thing that you guys have missed. We walked around the room, checked all the extra items. There wasn't really much of anything except for there's a telescope. Hercule Poirot said something about, oh, it's probably good to look at the stars, but the telescope is pointed down. Or it's pointed more eye level, so I don't know. And we found a bunch of books from romance, thriller, mystery, to a book on saints, and that's the only specific one, which probably connects with the painting that's in one of the rooms. I think that's the only thing that we've talked about. But Jackie just said that she is very important, and we don't want to get on her bad side. A lot of people like to be associated with her, and like being on her good side. So anyway, and so that's why she just says it's the best place to be. You wouldn't believe what a couple of positive stories can do for a family name.
And that is what you have done
or
for the Van den Bosch family?
A little help goes a long way, and from what I have seen, the ladies deserve some positive support.
You must have heard about the recent blackmailing.
Me. There will always be someone trying to get something out of someone else.
And welcome in,
Sassy.
Sassy.
Out to help themselves.
How are you
That
feeling?
is a rather pessimistic way of thinking.
But it's the truth. And in my experience, more often than not, it's someone the victim knows, and knows pretty well.
You make me question those I consider friends.
And maybe you should. If you have something you don't want the world knowing, just keep it to yourself.
It may be the nature of her work, but she lacks any sense of compassion for those that may fall victim to such betrayal. When I entered,
That's
you were
what we
talking
call
with the gentleman?
Pardon.
Uh-huh.
I didn't mean to pry.
And with respect, I don't think it's really any of your business.
That is certainly not what I was expecting. Mademoiselle Conrad is a force of her own.
I must take
shall
my
have to
leave.
play my cards right with her. I've got to go. I also said that you could totally remake this room in Animal Crossing. Did I look at this? It's quite valuable and delicate. I shall resist the temptation to inspect it further. What's on this other side? Did I inspect the clue?
Huh.
I've often found myself thinking on the prospect of traveling, perhaps one day.
Aha.
Yep, okay. So nothing in the case either.
Allow
All
me to
right.
introduce
What's
myself.
your name? Hugo.
Hercule Poirot.
Hugo Beckers. A pleasure.
I hope I am not disturbing you. I often find myself at a loose end at parties such as these.
I've never been referred to as a loose end before, but it is always good to make a new acquaintance.
Perhaps
There
we
is
should
no
start
better
with
way to
pleasantries?
understand one's purpose in life. I stand up for the workers that cannot do it themselves.
You work with a union.
Union leader, well, that is my formal title. But I see myself as more than just that. So much more. I am the face of the people. A voice in the void when there is none.
Very spirited. You have quite the way with words.
In my line of work, it is essential. Some fight with their fists, but I believe words are the ultimate weapon.
How about blackmail, Hugo? How do you feel about that? Is it the Demir or the Van den
I have
Bosch
been working
name
with
that
Gideon
brings
for
you
quite
here?
some time. We are doing great things together. Great things.
I was not aware he was part of the union.
Well, he's not exactly. But he is an ally in the battle we face. Without his support, our uphill struggle would surely be a climb. Hopefully my talks with De Silva will help him see the light.
I walked in upon your heated discussion, shall we
I don't
say,
know
with
what you
Mademoiselle
think you
Conrad
heard,
earlier.
But it was a private matter, and I appreciate if you kept it to yourself.
I can assure you, Monsieur Beckers, your conversation is exactly that. Yours.
Then maybe we should just leave it there.
There is something more to that conversation. If there is nothing to hide, why are both parties so hesitant to elaborate? Perhaps
Merci.
now is not the
If
time
I find
to
myself
press
at a loss again, I shall certainly return.
Okay. No links here. Aha, but there's one here. What's new? Hugo? Hugo resistant to elaborate on that thing. Hugo invited by Gideon. Gideon is a supporter of the unions. This has to
Some
be...
would say a lucky guess.
I should revisit this argument. Something does not feel right about their joint secrecy. It is interesting. Jackie believes the blackmailer must be close to the family, knowing such personal secrets. Who is close enough to the family to know their secrets? There's a lot of people, though. Zruki! I need to announce that I'm here and lurking. Zruki, thank you so much for coming in and lurking. How are you? How have your streams been? We're playing some mystery game. Let me see. Again, there's no link here. But what's new? Jackie somewhat knows the family. Jackie doesn't appear to know the family on a personal basis, but hinted at knowing their past. It's her job to know and report the news. It's not surprising she knows the guests at such an event. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. They're about to get pretty good. Getting a new no way. Super direct upgrade. That's dope. That's awesome. That's exciting. Hope yours have been good. They've been going pretty good. The past couple of streams, we've been having a lot of like tech issues, but I think we mostly sorted it out. So today was a little bit of a test. Made some slight adjustments at the beginning, but I think we're okay. So far, so good. I have my OBS stats open, and they haven't done anything crazy. I drop by more often than I appear. I lurk a lot without announcing. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. But it's always good to say hello. I'm still meaning to play more Splatoon. So if I do, please feel free to join if you'd like. How's that Arctic winter? It's actually, it's not so bad right now. It is freezing still. There are these huge icicles. I keep forgetting to mention this. There are these huge icicles that have appeared outside of my window. Like, they're literally, well, I guess feet probably wouldn't help. Hold on. It's about 1 meter in length. So there's like a meter high icicle that is like outside of my window, and it's crazy looking. So it's like, you know what a Potu bird is? So we actually, a couple weeks ago, we actually had Bird Week. It ended up being it was like Bird Week and a half. Where we only played bird games. And so I changed a couple of our follower emotes to bird stuff, and everyone loved the Potu. So we kept it because it's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny one. I think I'm gonna redraw I'm gonna redraw it. Well, I didn't draw that. It's a photo, but I'm gonna draw it in the form of an Animal Crossing villager making that same face. So we'll see. I started the like initial sketch and it looks okay. I might need to make some changes, but anyway, it should be fun. But yeah, amazing. They're so weird looking, but I don't know, I kind of like it. Let's see. Where's Zach? Oh, what is this?
Huh.
A pamphlet. Some information regarding a shelter for women coming from troubled homes and backgrounds. Okay. I don't know who that would relate to. We'll see. Zach, so it looks like you found the bar. Oh, and Madame is here. Cassandra. Quite a substantial sized bottle of alcohol. Already half drunk. Why is a half-empty bottle sitting on the bar with no glasses beside it? Zach? What have you been doing?
Monsieur Demir, we meet again.
Hey, actually,
Did I tell you?
at the same time.
Call me Zach. You found your room all right then?
I did, and a charming room it is.
I don't know if I would call mine charming, but if I drink enough, it won't matter.
What do you do, Zach? I feel like he must be some kind of, I would guess, an artist, if I had to. I'd say an artist, maybe? What else? I mean, like, he doesn't look like a businessman, but I don't know. It could be.
That's
could be
okay.
wrong.
At least you actually care. Not like most of the others here. I'm the groom-to-be's older, more handsome brother.
That makes sense.
I see the
Maybe
resemblance
more.
now. How wonderful that you can celebrate this occasion together.
I'll stop you there. The only wonderful thing about this celebration is the free food and drink.
It's probably
You
not
are
a
not
good
pleased
attitude
for
to
your
have,
brother.
but okay.
Angeline seems nice enough, but marriage is not for me. What is there to gain from tying yourself to someone for the rest of your life? Besides the money.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not about you. What is it you do for work? It seems everyone here is of some great
Recently,
financial
not a great
standing.
deal. Well, except for enjoying myself. I was once a field medic in the military. But those days are over.
A
Would not
noble
have guessed that
occupation.
at all.
Did you not want to make it your career?
It wasn't my decision to make. I certainly don't miss the battlefield, that's for sure.
I'm sensing tragic backstory. Maybe that's why he drinks so much. Anyway, I am hesitant to ask, but how was your brother after the altercation
I'm sure
with the
he's
major?
fine. You don't need to worry about him. Always the knight in shining armor, riding in to save the day.
Saving the day from who, exactly?
Well, if Gedeon is the knight in the fairy tale, Felix is the dragon. Felix the Major. Ha! Always there, thinking he is better. Just because he was a major. We all know how he got there. In his mind, that puts him at the top of the chain.
It seems there is some hostility between Demir and the Major, an animosity that does not come from one evening at a party. It is a shame
Gedeon
things
said they were
escalated
the
so much over
majors,
just a
but
cigar.
I didn't think he would miss just one.
Ah, it was you that took the cigar.
Me? Okay, detective, you twisted my arm. It was me. But I didn't even get a chance to smoke it. Gideon snatched it out of my hand. I'm sure he could afford to replace it.
There's something stashed inside the cigars. Or something. There's something with the cigars. They're rolled up treasure maps or something that are made to look like cigars, or but how does that tie in with the blackmail? I don't know. Or there's something in the box, maybe, within the cigar box, maybe? I don't know. And then Major saw Monsieur Gideon holding the cigar, assuming he had taken it. It was all a misunderstanding, so why the following
it is best I take my leave.
Because there's something with them. Let's wait to talk to Cassandra. We'll save her for last. Okay, same thing.
Ah.
News of the continued factory strikes. Workers demanding a fair treatment. Oh, by Jacqueline Conrad. Yes. I wonder if I had come down here first, if my character would have known her. Maybe not. A roaring fire. Okay, yep. I wonder if I get an achievement for looking at all of the fireplaces. I hope so. The fallen snow has laid a beautiful white blanket over the countryside that surrounds the house. Who are you?
Allow
Margot.
me to introduce myself.
That's right.
Hercule Poirot.
Why do we know this name? Margot was... it was listed
Detective
somewhere.
Hercule Poirot? I heard we were being joined by one of the king's finest officers.
Oui, madame. I see my name precedes me.
Comtesse Margot de Vos. Charmed, I'm sure.
It is I who is charmed.
Handsome, well-mannered, and a man of the law. I did not expect such a fine caliber of gentleman at this party.
How does charmed, I'm sure, works? I always thought it was... when someone says charmed, I'm sure, I always thought it was like a phrase like, I'm sure you are charmed to meet me. That's how I always took it. But his response was, no, it is I who's charmed. So is that not right? Is charmed, I'm sure, saying that I'm charmed to meet you? I don't know. I'll do research later, everyone. Don't worry. I'll go look it up.
Comtesse, your compliments are enough to make a young detective blush.
Am I wrong in thinking that? That's how it makes sense. Charmed, I'm sure. I've always thought it was something like a hold on, let's see. I wonder if the internet has something to say. Charmed, I'm sure. I don't know you yet, but I'm sure I will be charmed by you. Oh, I see. That's interesting. That makes sense. Like being sarcastic. I think it's more of like a... almost like a like flattery, sort of. Like it's like, I bet I will be charmed. I'm sure I will be charmed by you. Upon... Oh, yeah. I think that's... yeah, that's interesting. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess it's... hold on. Yeah, so it's basically like a nice to meet you sort of thing. Yeah, okay. But I'm glad I did see someone else interpreted it the way I did, which seems to be incorrect, but I'm glad that I'm not alone. Someone else said, to me it always sounded egotistical, as in, I am so great, I am sure you are charmed by me. Usually accompanied by a snooty glance to the side while feebly offering a hand. That's how I feel like I've normally heard it said in like movies and stuff. It's always like a charmed, I'm sure, I'm so important. But yeah, someone responded, I think it's supposed to imply that the speaker expects to be charmed by the person they're addressing. Like, we're too unfamiliar with each other to say for sure, it's great to meet you right now, but I'm sure after a bit I'll be happy to have met you. Yeah. So I just have always interpreted wrong. But I was confused because I've never heard somebody... oh, I see what you're saying by sarcastic. I see. I've never really heard anyone respond to that. It's always like a... because they do usually offer a hand. They usually say the nice to meet you, or kiss their hand, or something like that. But so I've never actually heard someone say, no, I'm the one who's charmed. I was like, what? Is that how it's always been? Look, all I'm saying is we're going to start to have to say when new people come in to chat, when we get like a new viewer chatted for the first time message, we'll have to say like charmed, I'm sure. It's too presumptuous to assume it's them being charmed by us, and more logical that we may be happy to have met them. Yeah. I've seen it used sarcastically, but I think that's just proper niceties. But I've heard it more used in a pleasant way. I think I have just interpreted it incorrectly now that I think about it. But I wonder if there are people who have used it in a way incorrectly, like, because it's not something that people say enough. It seems more of like an older timey type of thing. So I wonder if there are more people who have maybe used it even in like a more modern movie. I wonder if there are times where people have used it incorrectly. But I could be wrong. Maybe I've just always been in the wrong. I don't know. Anyway. Besides flattery, what is it that you do, Margot?
The number of those less fortunate only continues to grow.
How very
admirable. Maybe that's where the pamphlet comes from?
One must remain humble. I have
and which side of the engagement brings you here?
Vandenbosch family for, well, heaven knows how long.
You must have known the late Viscount then.
Indeed, we had been friends since our school days. His passing was very hard on both Cassandra and young Angeline. I became a sort of protector of them both after his death. A guardian angel, if you will.
A lot of older English people will still use manners, even when they want to be rude. Yeah, that is fair. I think, yeah, for sure. I have learned that friendship in these higher social circles can be nothing more than a facade to remain in that position. Perhaps the Comtesse is vying for Madame Vandenbosch's position? It was quite a shock to see the Major lying in the hall like that.
At the center of any trouble, especially when it concerns the ladies of the house.
I understand he has made himself quite at home here.
What an understatement. He thinks his friendship with Cassandra entitles him to anything and everything in the house, including certain opinions of how young Angeline lives her life.
He does not approve of Monsieur Demy.
You'd have to ask him, or rather speak with Gideon's brother. He will have something to say about Felix, I am sure.
The Comtesse is well versed in drawing one in with delicious bait and then leaving them biting on the line. Another conversation with Zach is
young man. Angeline has found herself a good one. They certainly make a handsome couple.
Speaking with them both, it is plain to see, even to one that is unexperienced in such emotions, that there is a great deal of love between them.
When they are together, it is obvious for all to see, even at such a young age. But who are we to judge what the heart wants?
Monsieur de Silva claimed he helped Madame Vandenbosch
You would say that.
when required?
I mean, financially, yes. But what else does that man have to offer?
I cannot imagine Madame Vandenbosch would be one to request financial help.
After Edwin, the Viscount, died, the family was left in a rather unfavorable position. She wasn't requesting, chérie. She was begging.
I see.
Let's just keep that between us. It's a rather sore subject for her.
It didn't take much for the Comtesse to reveal private matters of the Madame's business. I'm not so sure I would be willing to divulge any information to her. It is the women's shelter you work with.
I built it from the ground up, detective.
My admiration continues to grow.
While my husband, the Honorable Count de Vos, is always busy with his duties, I found myself at rather a loose end. I could not bear wasting my days with no purpose. And one day, while shopping in the city, I noticed the abundance of young women living and begging on the streets. dirty and hungry, without affront to their name.
It is horrifying to think of how so many must live their lives while others live a life of such selfish opulence.
I hope that was not a backhanded comment on the life I live, detective.
Far from it, Countess. You are using your wealth to better the lives of the less fortunate. It is commendable work you do.
It is, isn't it?
The work the Comtesse is doing will go a long way to improve the lives of those who need it so badly. I only wish there were more in positions such as hers who could see the divide in our society and use their
It has
wealth
been a
to
pleasure
bring the plight
conversing.
to an end.
I look forward to our next tete-a-tete.
Fun. All right, let's talk to Karen.
Madame Vandenbosch, congratulations are in order on your daughter's engagement.
Thank you. And you are?
Of course,
Detective
she wouldn't remember
Poirot.
us.
I'm sorry, the name eludes me.
What? A liar. That day at the Vandenbosch house has stayed with me. It opened my eyes to the unjust treatment of the working class and has been a driving force in becoming the detective I am today. And yet I have barely been a second
Officer
thought to her.
Poirot, I investigated your daughter's missing bracelet.
Oh, you remember me
It's
now?
you. There is no missing jewelry here today, so we are really not in need of your services.
I am here on a rather more pressing...
I know why you are here, officer, detective, whatever you are now. Please, just get on with it.
She
Detective.
is the worst.
And I promise not to keep you too long.
I understand the altercation between, I understand the altercation earlier began with an argument between the Major
Angeline
and
is her
Mademoiselle
own woman
Angeline.
now. She can fight her own battles. She does not need her husband to be stepping in.
And what battles would they be?
Nothing that concerns you, detective.
There we go. I'm not sure what I expected asking Madame Vandenbosch about private matters. Your daughter invited me here to find the blackmailer.
Down! She had no right to do such
Her
a thing.
portrait.
As soon as the other ladies get wind that there was a police officer in-house, the whole town will know.
It's just, hold on. When tech issues happen. when your render frames drop. Wait, which way? Which way? It's yeah, it's to the left. It's to the left. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep this around for later in the case we need. But there you go. All right.
Perhaps you should be more focused on
okay.
catching the blackmailer that is holding your family's name to ransom than what the chattering women of the town will say.
I care more about what those chattering women, as you so rudely describe them, have to say than the empty threat of an anonymous letter.
Your daughter does not agree.
Oh,
In
that's
fact,
right.
It has been suggested that one of tonight's guests may know more than they are willing to show.
Because Cassandra doesn't know that she paid the blackmailer, so she's like, "That was like a one-time thing. It doesn't matter about. It doesn't matter."
Guests? You mean our friends? You can't honestly believe one of them would be so petty to send a letter like that. Oh, officer, you have not changed.
I must thank you for your
I suppose
hospitality
it is only
tonight.
polite to say you're welcome.
Madame is as quick-witted as I remember.
What a shame there is nothing as memorable about you but your lack of respect.
Oh my gosh, Cassandra, you are just the worst. I should have known getting into a verbal battle with Madame would not be easily won. I understand the Major's not
You
fond
can
of
make
Angeline's
whatever
husband-to-be.
assumptions you wish.
Based on several accounts, it seems as though the Major has a certain level of disdain for him and his brother.
Felix is merely protecting both my daughter and the Van den Bosch name.
Protecting them from what exactly?
That is a question best asked to them.
Just the worst. You must be elated at the news of Mademoiselle Angeline's engagement. I mean, like, I kind of want her to be the bad guy, so that way there's some justice there. And it would also be an interesting parallel of, like, again, the daughter at the beginning of the story faked the theft. Maybe Cassandra faking like a blackmailer. That'd be kind of interesting, I suppose. But I feel like she's so bad that it's almost like it's a red herring. We want her to be the bad guy, but she's going to be innocent enough out of all this, and it's just going to be like, no, she's just a bad person. She's just a terrible person to talk to, but she is technically innocent or something. Those snowflakes, it's snowing, isn't it? It is pouring out there. You must be elated at the news of
Gideon
Mademoiselle
is a
Angeline's
fine,
engagement.
educated young man from a well-respected family.
All important when considering a new son-in-law.
A good home and education speaks volumes about a man. Even in the short time they have been engaged, his noble character is obvious. If you were an educated man, you would know that.
I can assure you, madame, my education is not one to be sneered at.
And yet you remain a mere detective. Perhaps it is your choices, then, that are to be questioned.
Perhaps you should tell me about the family secret, the one
What do you
your
mean?
daughter is protecting?
Protecting? She hasn't gone and paid that silly ransom, has she?
It was Monsieur Demire that accepted the cost. He paid it because your daughter believes there may be something to hide.
For heaven's sake! Why do you think it was addressed to her and not I in the first place? Because they knew I would throw it in the rubbish where it belongs.
JT, welcome in! How's it going?
Madame,
How are
if
you
there
doing?
is something you are keeping, it would be wise to tell me now. It may help in identifying the culprit.
And it would be wise for you to stay out of my family's business. If I require your help, I shall ask for it. But don't hold your breath.
Merci. An enchanting conversation, as always.
You see, she is the type of person to be like, pleased, I'm sure, and be like, just the worst about it. All right, let's connect these thoughts. What do we have here? Gideon was returning the cigar. Their relationship has been rather short. I hope they are ready for their impending commitment. Zach believes the Major's disdain for him and his brother could be because of a class divide. Zach claims Gideon is looking forward to the family fortune. I wonder if he knows their past.
I must act on thought and...
No. Hastily arranged marriage. It appears they are not prepared to wait to be wed. I find it rather romantic. Why would the couple want to move forward with the wedding so quickly? Cassandra, keen to avoid the argument. The Major doesn't like Gideon. Where do we see... yeah, Emrys. She is one of the the biggest witches I've ever seen in a game. Yes, she is just so rude. Cassandra, keen to avoid the argument. La 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 is not charmed. I see. I see. Okay, hold on. So
I cannot see the logic in this.
Did I do this one?
Another success. I never doubted myself.
Okay. Monsieur Gideon could be marrying into the family purely for financial gain. But if so, how did he have enough money to pay the blackmailer? I thought he had to have been wealthy. Cassandra seems to believe that his family is wealthy. Okay. Interesting. That's gonna cause some drama. 2 links here. What's new? Ernesto worked with the Major. Margot informed me that Ernesto and the Major have previously worked together. Curious. That is curious. The Major's been around since the Viscount's death. Margot is protective of Cassandra. Margot and Cassandra are longtime friends. She does charity work. She looks out for others. There's that pamphlet that she left. Bottle of alcohol. Zach is intoxicated. That's a connection. Magnifique. I could not even fathom drinking that much alcohol, especially in one evening. Alright. And the brothers aren't close. Interesting.
I must take a different approach if I am...
Yeah.
This will not get me...
Okay. There's just one more connection somewhere. Jackie's blackmail theory.
Is there something?
Is this a connection? Oh.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
It's clear the Major is close to the family and has some connection to both Cassandra and Angeline. Ooh. The Major is very close to family. There's some new conversations that opened up, but we still have more.
Come, my little grey cells.
No, Sassy! How are you feeling otherwise? Still the same, or... Extremely fatigued, but the congestion is less. Good. Okay, that's good to hear. Take it a day at a time, my friendo.
Order and method.
This isn't by chance connected, is it? No. Okay. Just wanted to try that. Ernesto is fond of Cassandra.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover...
Just wanted to try that. Oh, okay.
Some would say a lucky guess.
Yep, definitely a lucky guess. There is the chance the Major is involved in the blackmail somehow. What is the extent of Felix's possible involvement? Okay. Okay, no further links. We have some conversations that need to happen. Hope you're having a great stream. Thank you so much, JT. It's definitely gotten better since we fixed some of our problems earlier. But thanks for being here. If you'd like a fist bump, go ahead and punch your screen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, bam. Actually, on that note, we are going to be ending the stream here. But don't worry, my friends, because we will be back tomorrow with this. Might be, I don't know what tomorrow will look like. Maybe it'll be at the same time. Tomorrow's Christmas, or not Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I didn't even realize it. But don't worry, because I'm sending you guys off to another mystery game. Good Game Gizmo, our pal Gizmo, is playing Tangle Tower. Which we played a long time ago, which is awesome. He's some ways into it, and I love that game. I know a lot of you guys loved when we played it. It's such a well done mystery. Hold on, let me mute this. This is so loud. There you go. Such a well done mystery. So we need to go over there and support our buddy. Plus, it'll just be great to see that again. But before we go, let me just give out a few thank yous real quick. Tank, thank you so much for the raid. Glad that we're able to continue with the stream. I wasn't sure how all the tech adjustments were going to happen. Yami, thank you so much for the follow. Azure for the resubscription of 9 months. I appreciate. Playing Halo with Gizmo? Nice, that's awesome. We're thinking you should play with us since the rumor that you're amazing at Apex. I've actually never really played Halo, though. I would not be good at it. I played it once at like a friend's house, but I don't have anything that Halo is playable on, I don't think. Is it on PS4? It might be. For some reason, I thought it was just PC and Xbox. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I don't have anything that. But I appreciate the thought. But it plays so different too. Does the Xbox Game Pass work on Mac? It does not. Sag. Good Game Gizmo. Gimzo. No, yeah, I know. We don't have a lot. We don't get a lot here, but it's okay. You see, hopefully if I get a Steam Deck eventually, I would be able to maybe play some of these additional games, because I would then have access to something that can use Game Pass, but sad. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here today. We will continue this tomorrow. We've got quite a few chapters left, actually. I think we'll be playing this for a bit. But tomorrow, we will play more of this. I'll be back probably normal time. I suppose, I mean, most, like, New Year's activities don't start until later, so it'll probably be fine, but... anyway, let's go ahead and start the raid. We'll head over to Gizmo. We'll hang out with him. He's playing Tangle Tower. Love Tangle Tower. So let's share the love. I will actually say one thing I'm noticing is I think my computer seems to be running better right now than it has been in the past. New Year's party on AC. I would on my time. However, I know that I'm behind you guys by a long time. You guys will be asleep. For sure. Check your last fist bump. But we did a fist bump. It was JT's, right? Am I missing something? But if somebody else wants to host a New Year's thing, you know, just let us know in the Discord. Your other message. Oh, Wait. Also, when your alerts happen, your video goes back to being well behind audio. Huh. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. So is it out of sync now? We're going to be rating over, but maybe I'll figure it out. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll see you guys later. See you next time. Bye-bye.